weapon. Dave?
This is Fox News.
This morning, skies are cloudy. We even have had a few flakes of snow north of us, just north of the Cheddar Curtain this morning near Milwaukee. They're getting pounded with snow this morning. We'll keep our eyes on that. As we keep our eyes on these stories for you at 5:02 on AM 560, The Answer. State police are investigating after a person was shot by police in South Suburban Country Club Hills. The incident happened last night near a Bank of America branch in the 4200 block of West 167th. The person was seriously hurt. Reports say the incident began as a robbery. Parents are demanding answers after fireworks were set off twice this week at Morgan Park High School on Chicago's South Side. Several groups of parents expressed concerns with the school's principal during a meeting last night.
We have kids that's coming to school to get an education. They cannot get an education if you got these other ones out here just trying to create havoc. At least one student was hospitalized with smoke inhalation after fireworks exploded in the school Tuesday and Wednesday. Licensed practical nurses at the University of Illinois Hospital and clinics are on strike. 35 healthcare workers staged their walkout after almost a year of unsuccessful contract talks. The nurses say sticking points are job protection and what they call fair wages. Prosecutors are opposing a change of plea motion by a 25-year-old man accused of trying to detonate what he thought was a bomb in Chicago. They filed a response in Chicago federal court Thursday to a defense motion to ask a judge to allow Adel Daoud to enter an Alford plea just days before his November 26 trial. Prosecutors cited defense statements that they intend to put the FBI on trial for entrapping Daoud in a sting, arguing that accepting that plea would let those claims stand. A school district in the northwest suburbs is moving forward with a plan to fill clerical roles with armed, retired police officers who will also be available to increase school security. Palatine Township Elementary District 15 board members endorsed Superintendent Scott Thompson's proposal this week. A few district employees have criticized the move, saying they believe guns do not belong in elementary schools. The district serves about 12,000 students in Palatine, Rolling Meadows, Hoffman Estates, Inverness, South Barrington, Arlington Heights, and Schaumburg. Target will stick with its decision to shut down 2 stores on Chicago's South Side. Executives with the Minneapolis-based retailer confirming they were shutting down locations in the Chatham and Morgan Park neighborhoods in spite of protests by Representative Bobby Rush. A Western Springs man is charged with distributing child pornography. Edward Evans appeared in court yesterday. Cook County sheriffs say he used a messaging app downloaded to his personal tablet to send explicit images of children twice in the past year. Those messages were sent to undercover federal task force officers. There's good news for Pace area commuters. Suburban Transit Agency's board passed their 2019 budget without a fare hike. The spending plan includes $1.7 million earmarked toward improving on-time performance. Pace also has plans to launch the Milwaukee Avenue Pulse Line. It's a high-frequency service line running between the CTA's Jefferson Park Blue Line station and Gulf Mills Shopping Center in Niles. U.S. Representative Jan Schakowsky is supporting Toni Preckwinkle in her run for mayor. The Congresswoman telling the Sun-Times yesterday she's endorsing the Cook County Board president. The Democrat saying Preckwinkle is the lone progressive in the race. Schakowsky's 9th congressional district wards include the North Side. Gary, Indiana teachers are denied a pay increase in the 2019 budget. The Indiana Distress Unit Appeals Board approved a 1-year contract in that state-controlled district. Teachers were seeking a 4% pay hike after going 12 years without a pay increase. The Blackhawks will be honoring cancer survivor Eddie Olczyk this weekend. Former player and current announcer will take the ice for one more shift before Sunday night's game against the Wild at the UC.
Hawks players will wear lavender jerseys during warm-ups. They will be autographed and auctioned to raise money for local cancer-related organizations. Olczyk, you may recall, was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer last year and declared cancer-free in March. Blackhawks do host the Kings tonight. Bulls are in Milwaukee to take on the Bucks. College baskets last night. DePaul holds on to beat Penn State 72-70 in OT, while UIC lost to William & Mary 100-95, also in overtime. The new head coach of the Aurora University football program is former NFLer Don Beebe. Beebe, a former wideout, played in 6 Super Bowls before retiring in 1997. Began his own successful speed training business, then led Aurora Christian program for 10 years, winning 2 state titles. The news, a service of Compassion International. Sponsoring a child with compassion is the most effective way to end extreme child poverty. Release a child from poverty when you become a Compassion sponsor. Choose your child now at compassion.com/radio. 5:08. Let's get a check of traffic and weather coming up next on AM 560.
Finally, all the shouting is over. We now have winners and losers. This election season seemed to be more difficult, contentious, and even painful than ever before. For all you winners, congratulations. For all you losers, you can always try again. For the American people, time to do as we always do. Come together and heal. Hey, life will go on. America is still the greatest, best hope for the world. If you don't believe it, just stick with us. We'll get you through. AM 560, The Answer.
Where has the year gone? It seems like the holidays always sneak up on us so fast. Most retailers do their shopping in the first quarter of the year, but there are some exceptions. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is gearing up now for the biggest season of the year. They want to buy it before Christmas. Fox Valley Coins is one of the largest rare coin dealers in the entire Midwest. The sales of precious metals and rare coins and currency has been very brisk this year, so now they're on a huge buying spree. Fox Valley Coins buy all forms of gold and silver bars, coins, and jewelry, and they specialize in the rare and collector coins and currency. Find Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry, just north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. They'll make house calls to your home or bank on larger collections in November. FoxValleyCoins.com. Sure, they'll buy after Christmas, but they're stocking their shelves now. Get to Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry in Naperville or online, FoxValleyCoins.com. FoxValleyCoins.com. Dealers since 1981.
I'm Amy Errett, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. It's very meaningful to me when I hear customers talk about how Madison Reed at-home hair color has changed their lives. Here's Vicky, one of our very first customers.
Coloring my own hair is easier than I ever imagined. The best part, I no longer have to sit in a salon and pay over $100 to have this done. Now I color it when it's convenient for me, and it takes less than an hour. People compliment me on how great my color is, and my hair is incredibly soft and healthy looking.
Experience beautiful, multi-dimensional, ammonia-free, salon-quality color for under $25. Join the hundreds of thousands of women who have tried and loved Madison Reed. Find your perfect shade at madison-reed.com and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first color kit. Use code TOP. That's code TOP. Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
Amazon is raising the bar on wages. Amazon's U.S. employees now earn at least $15 an hour in the Chicago area. Learn more and apply at amazon.com/Chicago jobs. Amazon's an equal opportunity employer.
5:10. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
In Aurora, a broken water main has southbound Farnsworth closed at Indian Trail and westbound Indian Trail closed at Farnsworth. In Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, westbound 94 is closed. Highway C to Highway 50 due to rollover semi. There's also a crash. Highway 142 in the 2 right lanes. We are seeing delays. Northbound Tri-State 173 up past the state line to those separate crashes. Hayden's Expressway looks good. Kennedy has ramp closures. Cumberland and Canfield, as ramps are now set to reopen. Outbound had about a 5-minute delay from Austin to Harlem due to construction. The other expressways and tollways are okay. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer starts next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and meteorologist Brian May.
Partly sunny today with a high of 42. Tonight, cloudy with a bit of snow toward dawn. Little or no accumulation, low 30. Cloudy and chilly tomorrow, a little snow accumulating according to an inch, high 36. Cold Sunday, some sun, high 35. I'm Brian May on AM 560, The Answer.
30 at O'Hare, 29 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 5:30, and Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy starts now on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by On Target Radio. From firearms and Second Amendment rights to personal freedoms and government intrusions. Listen here Sunday nights at 9.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So in Florida, you have Governor-elect Ron DeSantis. DeSantis is in.
Yay, the recount didn't affect anything. He won. Fair and square.
Rick Scott apparently is at 0.15 percentage point lead in his race. So that's under a quarter of a percentage point, which triggers the automatic manual recount. So it looks like there's going to be a manual recount there. But, of course, not without incident, because we're talking about Broward County and a couple of others. 3 p.m. deadline that was set for the machine recount yesterday.
Yeah. Didn't really go so well, did it?
Did for most of Florida's 67 counties, but not for Broward, Palm Beach, and Hillsborough, none of whom met the deadline. Brenda Snipes was celebrating her accomplishment of meeting the deadline, but had to later acknowledge that the results were being uploaded. They were in progress while she was spiking the football. They were submitted to the state at 3:02, 2 minutes past the deadline.
Yeah.
The deadline rejected them and went with their first unofficial results.
I mean, that is such incompetency. She should be fired today. And President Trump even said so a few days ago. I mean, missing the deadline by 2 minutes, by 120 seconds?
Palm Beach missed it.
They didn't see it coming, Dan?
Palm Beach missed it by 2 days. They said they're not going to be done until Saturday. Well, that's past post now. And Hillsborough County as well. This was interesting. Hillsborough County intentionally refused to report its recount figures, which would have awarded Rick Scott approximately 150 votes because the recount turned up 846 fewer votes in total than the county's initial tally. So they just decided to let the first canvass stand.
So they sat that one out? They just were not going to do anything?
By the way, as an aside, Florida's 67 counties.
And how many counties do we have?
102. Florida's a more populous state.
Right.
Something about
So
layers of government.
Government here.
Yeah, something there. By the way, another aside.
Yeah.
Brenda Snipes. Have we mentioned this in a previous life? You know, from whence she springs to be the election supervisor in Broward County. Her professional background.
Right. And how she got that job. What's going on?
Retired principal.
Oh. How
And
convenient. So let me get. Is she getting that pension, and then she's also no.
Oh, I mean, I don't know the particulars of her personal finances, but
It's your pension proft.
Dr. Brenda Snipes. Doctor.
Oh, here you go.
Now, can I rest
I
rest my case as to why you do not call PhDs doctors, medical doctors are doctors, and everybody else is just educated, or in some cases, one would argue, overeducated. Also, the litigation continues now, going to Rick Scott, because his seat in the Senate is important. Federal, especially with the prospect of more Supreme Court nominees for the President of the United States. Federal judge ruled against Rick Scott yesterday, by mandating that voters whose ballots were rejected because of signature mismatch must be given a chance to verify their ballots. That's about 4,000 votes for voters who will have until 5 p.m. on Saturday to verify their ballots. Per this signature mismatch, Rick Scott is appealing that decision. But so the litigation goes on. DeSantis is in, Gillum is out, thank goodness. But Rick Scott is on 2 tracks, and I get the sense he's quite on top of it. I'm impressed with the approach he's taken so far, except for allowing Brenda Snipes to be the Broward County election supervisor. But he's fighting it out in the courts, and Republicans are. So they're fighting. They're not taking this lying down. They're not assuming anything for people who are always skeptical of Republicans willing to put in the fight and meet Democrats wherever they rear their heads. Fighting in the courts as well as in the court of public opinion, and as well as providing oversight with respect to this recount. And now we get into some real business with the hand recount.
And how long is the hand?
He's got about a 15,000 vote lead.
Yeah, and how long does the hand recount going to take? Was the deadline Sunday, I heard, and then they were thinking Monday. It just seems a little wishy-washy. Like, well, now we're going to count them by hand. Now get those boxes back out.
It's a slower pace of life in Florida.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they'll get around to it. I'll finish it when they finish it. The thing that's interesting about this, too, to me is, do you notice how indifferent Democrats are to competency, to the competent administration of elections?
Yeah,
64 of the 67 counties, and really 65 of the 67 counties in Florida, no problem. Broward, and to a lesser extent Palm Beach, and particularly with Broward, Democrats shoulder shrug. They don't care.
But are
because
mostly
the
Democrats in those counties, though? I mean, Broward County.
Well, right, but
you'd think that they'd be like their hair would be on fire right now.
Right.
Oh my gosh, you missed the deadline by 2 minutes.
And you're also just a source of national embarrassment. But it's the ends justify the means for them. So if they have to endure Brenda Snipes and her antics and her lack of transparency to hold out the possibility that they could upend Rick Scott's lead and reinstall Bill Nelson, then that's what they'll do. Competency and transparency are words they like to use, but not approaches they like to practice. Marty in Naperville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Good morning. Hey, why doesn't this Brenda Snipes quit whatever that job they call she has down there and just come in here and throw her head into the mayoral ring?
There you go.
She'd be a great mayor in Chicago. She's got all the qualifications.
Or Cook County clerk. Thanks for the call, Marty.
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
Upstream-ideas.com, premium content that complements what we do on this show each morning. Long-form interviews are against the current series. Follow the Logic Man on the Street discussions of the salient issues of the day. And then our sister sites, defendhomeowners.com. Join the HDA, Homeowners Defense Association, Illinois, and get a free property tax report on your home. Also, you can find updated home sales information in your community and stories of what the highest property taxes of the nation are doing to families throughout Illinois. Real numbers, real families, real stories at SaveYourHomeNow.org. So SaveYourHomeNow.org, DefendHomeowners.com, all the property tax, home sales information, the vignettes about real people in this state, and then Upstream-ideas.com for everything else.
Hey guys, Ken here from the hit podcast Today's Growth. We all know increasing revenue's tough. But did you know that 100% of main sources of income fail? The odds are 100% that your current main source of income will someday no longer exist. 439 of 1955's original Fortune 500 are no longer around. Yet their industries and even their product lines still thrive. What happened to these companies? Simple. They didn't believe that 100% of main sources of income fail. They never added a second revenue model. For years, my friends at Income Store have helped both households and businesses build second, third, and even fourth revenue streams. When it comes to helping people create their next revenue model, both Forbes and Inc. recommend Income Store as a can't miss. Could your household or business use an additional revenue model that doesn't solely depend on you? If so, you need to check out IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
What does building a better bank look like? It starts with building Capital One cafes, warm, inviting places that feel nothing like a typical bank, where you can open an account with no fees or minimums in 5 minutes. And you'll always find people ready to help you, not sell you. Welcome to Banking Reimagined. What's in your wallet?
For consumers only. Offered by Capital One and a member FDIC. Cafes available in select locations. Copyright 2018 Capital One.
It's time for Shrink Smoke and Gun November AR sale. All AR-type rifles and pistols are on sale. You can also get a wheel of a deal on all wheel guns with all revolvers, discounted this month. Discounts on ARs and revolvers are up to 20% off. And with the largest selection of new, used, and consignment firearms in Lake County, you will avoid the Cook County firearm and ammo tax with just a short drive north. For gunsmithing, you know you can count on family-owned Shrinks for over a half a century. And cigar lovers, be sure to stock up at Shrink's Humidors. Don't miss Shrink's November AR sale, and be sure to check Shrink's website and Facebook for exciting Black Friday sale announcements and to sign up for Shrink's mailing list. Visit SmokeTheletterN.gun.org or call 847-662-4034. Shrink Smoke and Gun in Waukegan, your family-owned gun store since 1964. Sale prices do not apply to consignment or clearance firearms.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy were talking about the Florida recount. DeSantis in, Rick Scott going to a hand recount, also litigating certain matters in court with respect to voters where there was a signature mismatch. All the while, Brenda Snipes receiving no criticism from Democrats because I would argue the ends justify the means. And if you have to throw a Hail Mary with Brenda Snipes for the off chance that she could help reinstall Bill Nelson.
And if I was Senator Bill Nelson, I'd be out of my mind. I mean, there really is no criticism of her at all. She didn't complete the task at hand, so she should be fired. It's real simple.
Even Jeb Bush said that, who, of course,
you mean after he ate the guacamole?
Loves his dad. Larry and Bartlett.
I love my dad.
Hey, good morning, Dan and Amy. Dan, after all these years, I finally think I caught you using the wrong word when you referred to her as a national source of embarrassment. Actually, she's the national source of admiration from the left and the media.
Well, right. Thanks for the call. I know. And I mean, of course, she's a retired principal, too, so that's an additional credential for her.
Can you imagine her being your principal? Ugh.
No. Peter in West Chicago. Hi, Peter.
Yes.
Yes.
Dan, you missed the obvious.
Yes. Shuffling through your papers for the obvious, yeah. All right.
Did you write the obvious down?
Take your time. Yeah, sure.
Yes. Brenda Snipes, you called her Dr. Brenda Snipes. It should be Dr. B.S.
B.S., right, her initials.
Yes.
Yes, very Dickensian.
Yes. No longer Brenda Snipes, just Dr. B.S.
Thanks for the call, Peter. Maybe that would be the one context in which I would be willing to call her or reference her as a doctor.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Green flag is in the air from Miami.
Winning the championship is the ultimate goal.
400 miles separate one of these four drivers from a championship.
Miami, baby! Your heart's beating through your chest. I think the great ones thrive under pressure.
There's a lot on the line when you get to Homestead. It's your opportunity to go out there and show the world what you're made of.
The NASCAR Championship, live from Miami, Sunday, 3 Eastern, on NBC.
My name is Dr. Jonathan Greenberg. Stop what you are doing because what I'm about to say
will improve the quality of your life. ZYPPAH.com. That's Zypah. It's Happy Z spelled backwards. Zypah is designed to be comfortable, affordable, and effective at eliminating snoring. I want to help you stop snoring. Go to Zypah.com and order now. ZYPPAH.com. Snoring is a serious matter. Zypah will conquer your snoring problems. Go to Zypah.com and order now.
Where has the year gone? It seems like the holidays always sneak up on us so fast. Most retailers do their shopping in the first quarter of the year, but there are some exceptions. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is gearing up now for the biggest season of the year. They want to buy it before Christmas. Fox Valley Coins is one of the largest rare coin dealers in the entire Midwest. The sales of precious metals and rare coins and currency has been very brisk this year, so now they're on a huge buying spree. Fox Valley Coins buy all forms of gold and silver bars, coins, and jewelry, and they specialize in the rare and collector coins and currency. Find Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry, just north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. They'll make house calls to your home or bank on larger collections in November. FoxValleyCoins.com. Sure, they'll buy after Christmas, but they're stocking their shelves now. Get to Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry in Naperville or online, FoxValleyCoins.com. FoxValleyCoins.com. Dealers since 1981.
Hi, I'm Tom Sadeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 35-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. Without further ado.
Hi, I'm Patty Fritz, Precision Payroll's first employee. Yes, I'm real. I love working with my team and our clients and providing the best service and support. Hard to believe it's been that long. But when you love what you do, it's great. And I do love what we do at Precision Payroll. I didn't start for myself either.
That's right, Patty. I was there day one, and I'm still working with you today. Hi, I'm Jack Bishop, owner of Priority Logistics in Elk Grove, and Precision Payroll's first client. Yes, I'm real too. Precision Payroll has served us exceptionally for 35 years. We've grown together over the years, and I look forward to many more to come.
Jack and Patty, thank you both for making Precision Payroll of America a great company to do business with. To join our growing ranks of clients, visit us at precisionpayroll.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Updating a story we've been following. Just want to make sure you know.
What?
The good news that Cullerton Way is coming to Canal Shores and the North Shore. The Metropolitan Water Reclamation District approving by a 5-4 vote is spending $5 to last report $700,000 of your money, Cook County taxpayers, to pave over the 10th Fairway for the benefit of a private developer of Senate John Cullerton, a private developer client of Senator and Senate President John Cullerton.
What a scumbag.
To build $1 million houses. Your tax dollars used to underwrite a private development for the private benefit of public official Senate President John Cullerton. Cullerton Way, the Chicago way.
I love it. You came up with that name. You're brilliant, Dan. Coming up,
You humble me.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Kamala Harris compares ICE to the KKK because that's what she does.
And Michael Avenatti strikes back, blaming a right-winger for his domestic violence charges. It's spectacular. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Skies are cloudy, 30 degrees. Fire officials in Northern California say at this moment, more than 630 people could be missing in that deadly Camp Fire. The increase based on the number of people who called 911 when the fire started. 7 more people were confirmed dead yesterday, bringing that death toll to 63. Meantime, a homicide suspect and a police dog are dead after a confrontation near the Camp Fire evacuation zone.
6 officers fired their duty weapons, 2 handguns and 4 rifles that brought the man down. Unfortunately, also brought the bandit down.
Butte County, California DA Michael Ramsey gave details of the incident yesterday. And yes, that police dog Bandit was killed in that confrontation. Pre-winter storm marching across the eastern third of the country where it's blamed for 7 deaths.
I've never seen it so bad. I have driven in 8 inches of snow, 10 inches of snow, a foot of snow, a blizzard. And I've never seen anything this bad. They were totally unprepared. They didn't brine the streets. They didn't salt. It was awful. Accidents everywhere.
This morning, 300,000 homes and businesses have no juice, and there is snarled air traffic heading to the East Coast. Call ahead on your flight. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is apparently going to face charges in the U.S. The Washington Post says a prosecutor let slip that Assange was charged under seal. Federal prosecutors have been investigating Assange over the leak of diplomatic cables and military documents in 2010. The Ohio House of Representatives has passed a bill outlawing abortion 6 weeks after a woman becomes pregnant. The bill approved yesterday bars abortion after a fetal heartbeat is detected. Republican Representative Christina Hagan of Marlboro Township in Ohio spoke in support of that bill.
We have a right and a responsibility as elected leaders to protect these vulnerable children. If a heartbeat is detected, Mr. Speaker, the baby should be protected.
There are no exceptions in the bill. Doctors violating it could face up to a year in prison. State police are investigating after a person was shot by police in Country Club Hills. The incident happened last night near the Bank of America in the 4200 block of West 167th. A school district in the northwest suburbs is moving forward with a plan to fill clerical roles with armed retired police officers who will also be available to increase security in Palatine Township Elementary District 15. Eavesdropping charges have been filed against an Urbana assistant school superintendent who allegedly planned to secretly record a closed session of the school board. Champaign County State's Attorney Julia Reitz yesterday alleged that Samuel Bindum used a device disguised as a pen to record an October 28 closed session of the board. Bindum has been put on leave. It's not immediately known if he has legal representation. Seahawks keep the Packers winless on the road. Give the Bears a helping hand with a 27-24 win over the Pack on Thursday Night Football. Blackhawks and Kings tonight. Bulls in Milwaukee. Red Sox outfielder Mookie Betts. Brewers outfielder Christian Yelich. 2018 Major League Baseball MVPs, and it wasn't close. The news is a service of Compassion International. Sponsoring a child with compassion is the most effective way to end extreme child poverty. Release a child from poverty when you become a Compassion sponsor. Choose your child now at compassion.com/radio, compassion.com/radio. 5:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Napa know-how.
Right now, Napa has 5-quart jugs of Pennzoil or Valvoline full synthetic motor oil for $23.99. That's one heck of a deal for all-weather engine protection. So whether you're driving in Phoenix, Arizona, Duluth, Minnesota, or down the street to the grocery store, the right oil for your ride is just $23.99. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
General states pricing. Sales prices do not include applicable state, local taxes, or recycling fees. Offer ends 12/31/18.
Dashing through the snow to CVS we go. A $10 cash card for beauty brands and bows. Lights to dress the tree and stocking gifts galore. Candy cards and photo gifts and deals throughout the store. At CVS Pharmacy, we've got all the little things you need this holiday. Like a $10 CVS cash card, yours when you spend $30 on select items. This week, Hallmark cards are buy 3, get 3 extra bucks rewards. Plus, Ghirardelli chocolate is BOGO 50% off. Restrictions apply. See cvs.com/weekly ad for details.
Here's another Turnkey IT happy client.
Hi, this is Joe from Packaging Personified. We're a manufacturer of flexible packaging located in Carroll Stream, Illinois, and also just north of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Packaging Personified manufactures flexible packaging for the food industry and multiple other industries. We happen to be a 24-hour operation running 7 days a week, so we rely on our IT to be 100% solid. We were having a challenging time trying to get our infrastructure to be reliable. This is a problem we've had for some time, and we had gone to other providers and did not have the success we were hoping for. And that's when we found Turnkey IT. We're still in the process of expanding our network to support additional changes that we're making as we grow the business. And with Turnkey IT on our side, we can focus on our business, which is making packaging.
Your business can have great success too, with a full-time IT staff starting at $7.95 a month. From Turnkey IT.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today
Turnkey.pro.
Larry Elder says not everyone can have a radio show.
Most of these guys couldn't do it. Remember Air America? They had a whole bunch of lefties trying to do a national radio show. One after another failed. They were boring. You know why? Because we know what they're going to say. 90% of our media are left-wing. That stuff is already out there. What is Don Lemon going to do with a radio show? What's he going to say? Trump's a racist, Trump's a racist, Trump's a racist. We already know you think Trump's a racist. Boring!
The Larry Elder Show. Weeknights at 7, right before Jay Sekulow at 9 on AM 560. The Answer.
5:36. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
In Pleasant Prairie, Wisconsin, a crash on 94 at Highway C. Northbound or westbound on 94, 2 left lanes are blocked. Eastbound 94, southbound, got 1 left lane blocked at Highway C. Aurora, southbound Farnsworth is closed at Indian Trail to a broken water main. Westbound Indian Trail is blocked at Farnsworth. Cadence is fine, Kennedy as well. No delays to report yet on the Eisenhower. Getting a little bit of congestion east of Manheim. Mount Stevenson, about a 5-minute delay from Central Kedzie. Ryan, about a 3-minute delay from 18th into the Burn Circle. Bishop Ford, tight Cottage Grove to the merge. Tollways are good right now. No problem to report on I-80 or in northwest Indiana. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center, we'll have partly sunny skies and 41 today. Clouding up overnight, bit of snow toward dawn with a bit of accumulation as well, low 30. 30 right now at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 6. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Affording Michael Avenatti the presumption of innocence, making sure that he gets due process in the felony domestic violence charges he's facing. Found it out $50,000. Of course, we discussed that yesterday. Not only did he deny the charges against him, deny the allegation that he ever struck a woman by saying that she hit me first. Strong denial. He also has a conspiracy theory that he offered yesterday.
Yeah, he put out in a tweet, first Mueller and now me. When we are fully exonerated, I'm coming for you, Jacob Wool, a.k.a. Surefire.
When was Bob Mueller arrested on domestic violence
He wasn't,
charges?
but this guy, remember Jacob Wool, came out with this tweet, video, and put on Facebook saying that there's going to be, information about domestic or sexual
harassment.
Sexual harassment,
Right.
against, against
Me Too
Robert
stories
Mueller.
against Mueller. Right.
Yeah, that never amounted to anything.
And one woman suggested that Surefire, some representative of Wool, tried to pay her to fabricate a story against Mueller, and this is when Mueller's office issued the statement disclosing this happening, so that they didn't get beat up with conspiracy theories on social media and so forth.
But Jacob Wool is fighting back because he sees Avenatti's tweet. He says it amounts to a criminal threat. And I kind of agree with this. He says Michael Avenatti's criminal threats against me are being reported to law enforcement. Coming from a guy who's on bail for a violent felony is quite unnerving. So I don't know if this is just,
Yeah, it's a couple of guys
bullying.
posturing for PR purposes, but it is kind of fun.
Well, I mean, think about it. He didn't give a rip about ruining Kavanaugh's life. Now it's come full circle for him. And it's not just domestic violence charges. Domestic violence charges with injuries.
Right. The LAPD in their report detailed visible signs of injury. But here, this thing of
red cheeks, swelling, and bruising on her face.
So I want to zero in on Michael Avenatti here because he is a darling of CNN and MSNBC. Oh, yeah. He is a leading candidate for the Democrat nomination for president in 2020.
Oh my gosh!
And so Jacob Wool is manipulating the Los Angeles Police Department to have Michael Avenatti arrested for domestic violence. That's what he's implying, isn't he?
Michael Wohl, who lives on the East Coast,
Jacob
Wohl, who lives on the East Coast in Washington, D.C., he can really affect the Los Angeles Police Department? I don't think so. I don't think he has that kind of pull. It's not going to happen.
First Robert Mueller, and now me.
Yeah. How can he even compare his case to that?
I wonder if he could use that first Robert Mueller and then me, see if he can figure out a way to also hold Jacob Wohl accountable for his IRS and Department of Justice problems. Did Jacob Wohl also force him to represent Julie Swetnick? This guy's a real piece of work. I mean, I got to say, though, with each passing day, he's inching closer to the nomination.
Oh, you think so? Well, Stormy Daniels, because I've been waiting to hear, like, what's she going to do? Is she going to drop him as her attorney? She said yesterday that she's going to reserve judgment.
Oh, fantastic.
For the alleged domestic violence in Los Angeles, but the adult film actress did say that if the allegations are true, Dan, she's going to seek new representation.
Wow.
Riveting.
Well, that's that can't be good news to Avenatti. He's on the hook, right? I mean, just last month he had a $4.85 million judgment entered against him. I mean, he's got those IRS problems, and then Chuck Grassley referred him and Swetnick to Department of Justice for perjury and suborning perjury before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Oh, boy. Golly. Why do bad things happen to good people?
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
We're in the holiday season, and everybody's scrambling around to find the right Christmas gift. I have a magical place for the magical gift for somebody on your list. I want you to give a gift for my friends at Roland's Jewelers. I'm a customer. In fact, recently got a watch from Roland's Jeweler that I absolutely love. You know, jewelry is all about trust. Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville is a place you can trust. Who else would offer AM 560 listeners up to $500 in savings on designer brands like Mickey Moto, John Hardy, Roberto Coin? You'll save on luxury watches you love, like Tag Heuer or Michelle and Shinola. Shinola is the kind of watch that I got. As an AM 560 listener, you're going to save up to $500. Roland's Jewelers, downtown Libertyville. You got to make a stop or go online. RolandsJewelers.com, ROLLANDS, RolandsJewelers.com. This holiday season, trust Roland's to make all your gift-giving magical. Roland's Jewelers, a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
Hi, I'm Tom Sadeka, President and CEO of Precision Payroll of America. We're the 35-year-old company whose first employee and first client are still working together. We have so many wonderful clients, but with me today is someone very special.
Hi, I'm Charlie Kirk, founder of Turning Point USA. We are a nonprofit student organization battling the bias and indoctrination in America's high schools and colleges every day. We are on over 1,000 campuses and continue to grow. Precision Payroll has been there since day one and has helped us immensely as we grew to a truly national organization. No one in the business is better than Precision Payroll. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you, Charlie. What you're doing is so important. To learn more and help, go to tpusa.com. That's tpusa.com.
And for your business, let Precision Payroll make a difference for you. Call Tom at 630-242-1507. That's 630-242-1507. Or online at precisionpayroll.com.
Thank you, Charlie.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some good news. From now until December 15th, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition, and depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. And this year, thanks to President Trump, if you're healthy and your income is too high to qualify for a subsidy, there is a new and competitive non-Obamacare marketplace where premiums are much lower and the PPO networks include access to our teaching hospitals in Chicago. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor. C. Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for 7 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551.
The school year started just a short time ago, but it's not too late for your son or daughter to get the outstanding education and preparation for life that St. John's Northwestern Military Academy offers with their ongoing enrollment program. For years, St. John's Northwestern Military Academy has served young men and is now an excellent co-ed environment. Not a school for troubled kids, but one that will prepare young men and women for college by focusing on rigorous academics and leadership with a safe, secure, and structured environment free from distractions that's conducive to successful learning. St. John's Northwestern Military Academy in the beautiful Lake Country region of southeast Wisconsin inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, spiritual, and character development, athletics, and their military traditions. And there's still time to enroll your son or daughter for this school year. Call 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET. Or visit their website, sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
I'm Amy Errett, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. It's very meaningful to me when I hear customers talk about how Madison Reed at-home hair color has changed their lives. Here's Vicky, one of our very first customers.
Coloring my own hair is easier than I ever imagined. The best part, I no longer have to sit in a salon and pay over $100 to have this done. Now I color it when it's convenient for me, and it takes less than an hour. People compliment me on how great my color is, and my hair is incredibly soft and healthy looking.
Experience beautiful, multi-dimensional, ammonia-free, salon-quality color for under $25. Join the hundreds of thousands of women who have tried and loved Madison Reed. Find your perfect shade at madison-reed.com and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first color kit. Use code TOP. That's code TOP. Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, and I'll tell you what, the numbers support the president's approach to the D.C. press corps, and the warnings that have been issued to the press corps by everyone from Jon Stewart to Bob Woodward. You're playing right into Trump's hands, Jim Acosta, CNN, MSNBC. Survey research from McLaughlin and Associates reported in the Washington Examiner. John McLaughlin, longtime D.C. pollster. 48% of voters in the midterm elections thought the media was unfair and unbiased against President Trump. Only 9% said the media biased in his favor. So it's pretty clear that in general, writes McLaughlin, in general the media is seen as partisan and inherently divisive. Earlier this year, we found 77% say they can't believe everything in the media. Only 14% said they could. So the partisan division has really hurt the media's credibility, and they will not recover from it without a major change in tone and substance. By a 5-1 margin, all voters, as well as independents, say the media are unfair and biased against President Trump. 5-1 margin. So you can understand why Trump picks on Jim Acosta to pick on Jim Acosta.
Right. They kind of play off of each other. I mean, they do. But Jim Acosta, he took it too far when he touched the White House intern who was trying to take the microphone away.
That's just more grist for the mill, really.
Well, it was disrespectful, and I thought he was dismissive to her, and, he's got his own agenda.
The dressing
Trying
down.
to find the ladies, Dan.
Yeah.
He's on the prowl. He's
Yeah.
remember? He's the cat's meow.
Status, book deals, self-importance. No, I get it. But that dressing down that the president gave Jim Acosta redounds to the president's benefit. And whether Trump knew the numbers or just sort of instinctually knows that this is where people are at, the numbers back him up. Interestingly, starting to take the same approach with Bob Mueller, since Avenatti brought him up. The inner workings of the Mueller investigation are a total mess, Trump tweeted. They found no collusion, have gone absolutely nuts. They are screaming and shouting at people, horribly threatening them to come up with answers they want. They are a disgrace to our nation and don't care how many lives they ruin. These are angry people, including the highly conflicted Bob Mueller, who worked for Obama for 8 years. They won't even look at all of the bad acts and crimes of the other side. A total witch hunt like no other in American history, all caps, exclamation point. So he clearly thinks that ratcheting up the proactive antagonism towards Mueller will have the same political impact as doing so with CNN. Yeah. So it's interesting because I think he's probably right about that. I think unless Mueller, and this, by the way, I get the backdrop of the White House still assessing how they want to answer questions that have been submitted by Mueller, but the status of the investigation seems to me, unless Mueller has something massive, and I'm not talking about an indictment of Jerome Corsi for misleading a grand jury. I'm talking about a principal. I'm talking about somebody with the last name Trump. Right. Implicates him or implicates them one step removed, then Trump is probably right to play this hand. Because I just don't think there's much appetite among the electorate for all of this. I think they've stopped paying attention to it, except those who are sort of lobotomized and in a trance watching CNN and MSNBC. Right. I just don't. It's not even a topic of conversation anymore.
My eyes glaze over when I see it. But President Trump did meet with his lawyers 3 times this week in regards to the Mueller investigation. So I think we possibly might be on the driveway home.
Well, I don't even care about this story. On the other side, federal court compelling Hillary Clinton to respond to further questions under oath about her emails. Judge Emmett Sullivan issuing the ruling Wednesday this week in response to a Judicial Watch lawsuit, the shadow Department of Justice. The decision is a result of a FOIA lawsuit initiated by Judicial Watch, which sought to clarify why Hillary's gal pal, Uma.
How is Uma doing with Wiener?
I don't know.
I should check out if he's gotten out of jail. Maybe he's in a halfway house now.
I hope they can put it back together.
I'm pulling for those little kids.
The suit, Hillary and Uma, why Uma was authorized to be both an employee of the State Department and a special government employee for outside jobs. And so this litigation against Hillary Clinton is continuing. But I don't think that's going anywhere either. So I'm just sort of, I think where most of the American public is, which is 2016 is over, put it behind us. Mm-hmm. By the way, Roger Stone, also at the sort of loosey-goosey Roger Stone, he's actually proving up what he said. There was all this talk about Roger Stone being was going to be indicted as well. Roger Stone releasing text messages showing that he did, in fact, learn about WikiLeaks' plans to release Clinton-related emails through this New York talk show host, Randy Credico. So the idea was that was not credible. Credico had previously denied that he was a source for Stone, but the text messages that Stone released seemed to indicate otherwise. And I don't really care about that either.
Really? Do you care about WikiLeaks? Because Stinky might be going to jail. There's news this morning that Julian Assange might be kicked out of that Ecuadorian embassy in London and sent to the States because there was an accidental unsealed court filing, I guess, in Northern Virginia, where there's information that he leaked information about our wars on WikiLeaks and then potential Russian interference. Because Roger Stone was allegedly working with him, yada, yada. So I think he might be going to jail.
I gotta. I mean, unless I just go back again, unless you have something akin to a smoking gun with respect to a purposeful effort to undermine U.S. elections to the benefit of hostile foreign agents, then this is sound and furious, signifying literally nothing. I'm just so much more interested in the power of the social media giants, the tech giants, than I am in these one-off meetings with some third-tier Russian operative talking to some goofball political operative wannabe. What is all of this? This is 2 years of our lives and obsession of certain cable news channels and DC press corps outlets. I mean, does anybody see this going anywhere? Maybe I'm missing it. Again, the caveat, we don't know what Bob Mueller knows. Every prosecutor we have on, every former FBI'er we have on, we don't know what he knows. He has this reputation. He's a paragon of virtue and integrity, and so on and so forth. His record suggests that's not quite accurate, but okay. That's, he's inside the network. He's part of the swamp, and so the swamp protects his own. I get it. But on the substance of the matter, what the hell do we have here? And I know we took a time out, and he took a time out for the election. But, this goes into next year, and House Democrat committees try to pick this up and run with it or breathe new life into it. I mean, I honestly,
appetite for it.
Even as much as I want Hillary Clinton held accountable for breaking the law, frankly, that's past post. It's not going to happen. I've moved on.
What if she decides to run in 2020?
I want her to run in 2020.
Okay, so you do. So you don't want this email scandal to hinder
No.
that quest for the White House to break the glass ceiling. We're doing it.
Let's just move on with our lives. Can't we get out of 2016?
Oh, by the way,
I want out of 2016.
By the way, Anthony Weiner, his sentence has been reduced 3 months. He gets out of jail May 14th, 2019. Okay, just in case you're wondering. Then maybe
May of next year.
Yeah, May of next year. Okay.
My prediction?
Yeah. Oh, do you think he and Umar are going to get back together?
No. I think he is going to assault a guard so he can stay in prison.
Because it might be better life.
It's what Chicago is talking about. It's Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy on AM 560. The Answer.
Here's another Turnkey IT happy client.
Hi, this is Joe from Packaging Personified. We're a manufacturer of flexible packaging located in Carroll Stream, Illinois, and also just north of Grand Rapids, Michigan. Packaging Personified manufactures flexible packaging for the food industry and multiple other industries. We happen to be a 24-hour operation running 7 days a week, so we rely on our IT to be 100% solid. We were having a challenging time trying to get our infrastructure to be reliable. This is a problem we've had for some time, and we had gone to other providers and did not have the success we were hoping for. And that's when we found Turnkey IT. We're still in the process of expanding our network to support additional changes that we're making as we grow the business. And with Turnkey IT on our side, we can focus on our business, which is making packaging.
Your business can have great success too, with a full-time IT staff starting at $7.95 a month. From Turnkey IT.
Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. Turnkey.pro.
AM 560. The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Kamala Harris, Race Bates, Trump's nominee to be ICE director because she's trying to keep up with Avenatti for those 2020 sweepstakes.
Oh, that's right. But now let's go into the newsroom, catch up with news at home and around the world. Here is Mike Scott.
A person shot by police in Country Club Hills. Fireworks set off twice at a Chicago high school. Target will stick with their decision to close some Southside stores. Blackhawks host the Kings tonight. Bulls play the Bucks. And partial sunshine in your forecast. WIND, Chicago News Time 6.
Another recount starting now in Florida. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. This one by hand, counting about 54,000 ballots in question statewide. Fox's Griff Jenkins at the Broward County Elections Office.
There's going to be 6 people per table, 2 election officials, and 4 lawyers, 2 Democrat, 2 Republican, and they're only counting the over and under votes that were separated from the machine recount yesterday. That is where the real fight's going to happen because the lawyers will debate over what the voters' intent was on those.
Well, after the machine count, Republican Governor Rick Scott maintains a more than 12,000 vote lead over Democratic Senator Bill Nelson. In the governor's race, Republican Ron DeSantis has a 0.4% lead over Andrew Gillum. Too big for a hand recount, but the Democrat not conceding yet. It's up to 63 people dead now in that Northern California wildfire.
We have located 7 additional
human remains.
Butte County Sheriff Corey Honey also says the number unaccounted for shot up to 631 amid the 9,500 homes that burned, but some may be alive, just don't know they've been reported missing. 3 others were killed in the fire near Malibu to the south. Julian Assange may have some legal problems here in the U.S. The WikiLeaks founder, who remains holed up in Ecuador's embassy in London, did get involved in the 2016 presidential election. Fox's Rachel Sutherland live in Washington.
Dave, federal prosecutors in Virginia are reportedly preparing to indict Julian Assange. The Justice Department inadvertently named him in a court filing in an unrelated case, stating that charges would need to remain sealed until Assange is arrested in connection with the charges in the criminal complaint and can therefore no longer evade or avoid arrest and extradition. It's not immediately clear what charges Assange could be facing, but Special Counsel Robert Mueller has looked into WikiLeaks' publication of hacked emails during the 2016 presidential campaign. Dave.
Rachel, it's the morning after a nightmare of a drive home for people from St. Louis to New York City. Icy and snowy, people stuck in cars for hours. This is Fox News.
Cloudy skies this morning, 30 degrees at 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. State police are investigating after a person was shot by police in Country Club Hills. The incident happened last night near the Bank of America on West 167th Street. Reports say the incident began as a robbery and a crash involving a police vehicle. Parents want answers after fireworks have been set off twice this week at Morgan Park High School on Chicago's South Side.
We have kids that's coming to school to get an education. They cannot get an education if you got these other ones out here just trying to create havoc.
The incidents remain under investigation. Licensed practical nurses at the University of Illinois Hospital and Clinics are on strike. 35 healthcare workers staged their walkout after almost a year of unsuccessful contract talks. Target will stick with their decision to close 2 stores on Chicago's South Side. Executives with the Minneapolis-based retailer confirming that they're shutting down locations in the Chatham and Morgan Park neighborhoods in spite of protests outside a downtown Target on State Street. The top man at the University of Illinois gets another taxpayer-funded 6-figure bonus. University trustees yesterday voting to give President Tim Killeen $100,000. It's the second year in a row for the big bonus. Trustees say Killeen earned that extra bump. Its compensation from the school and taxpayers comes to just over $700,000 a year. Seahawks keep the Packers winless on the road, and that benefits the Bears. Seattle, a 27-24 win over the Pack. The Bears welcome the Vikings Sunday night to Soldier Field. Blackhawks host the Kings. The Bulls in Milwaukee to tangle with the Bucks. College hoops last night. DePaul holds on to beat Penn State 72-70 in overtime. The news service of Compassion International. Sponsoring a child with compassion is the most effective way to end extreme child poverty. Release a child from poverty when you become a Compassion sponsor. Do your part to release a child from poverty today at compassion.com/radio. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Sean Hannity sees a shaky foundation.
Now that there's irrefutable and incontrovertible evidence that it's the highest-ranking members of the FBI and DOJ that are involved in nefarious activities and abuse of power to prevent one person from becoming president, the house of cards is beginning to tumble.
The Sean Hannity Show. Afternoons at 2, right before Joe Walsh at 5 on AM 560. The Answer.
It's the holiday sales event at Ford. It's a big deal, and we're busy making preparations to get you the best deals of the year. Because unlike Santa's presents, ours don't just magically appear. At Ford, ours are built in real factories, where pickup trucks come with best-in-class towing and payload, where SUVs are built with available features like terrain management and driver assist technologies, and where every bolt, stitch, and line of code is tested and tested again. But you don't have to write Santa a letter to get these presents. Naughty or nice, just come see your Ford dealer during our holiday sales event for our best offers of the year. Ford, built for the holidays. Built Ford proud.
Best-in-class towing and payload when properly configured. Class as light-duty pickups under 8,500 pounds GVWR based on Ford segmentation.
Where has the year gone? It seems like the holidays always sneak up on us so fast. Most retailers do their shopping in the first quarter of the year, but there are some exceptions. Fox Valley Coins in Naperville is gearing up now for the biggest season of the year. They want to buy before Christmas. Fox Valley Coins is one of the largest rare coin dealers in the entire Midwest. The sales of precious metals and rare coins and currency has been very brisk this year, so now they're on a huge buying spree. Fox Valley Coins buy all forms of gold and silver bars, coins, and jewelry, and they specialize in the rare and collector coins and currency. Find Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry, just north of I-88 at the Naperville-Warrenville border. They'll make house calls to your home or bank on larger collections in November. FoxValleyCoins.com. Sure, they'll buy after Christmas, but they're stocking their shelves now. Get to Fox Valley Coins on Route 59 in Ferry in Naperville or online, FoxValleyCoins.com. FoxValleyCoins.com. Dealers since 1981.
Amazon is raising the bar on wages. Amazon's U.S. employees now earn at least $15 an hour in the Chicago area. Learn more and apply at Amazon.com/Chicago Jobs. Amazon's an equal opportunity employer.
At 6:07, a check on the morning roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim.
In Aurora, southbound Farnsworth is closed at Indian Trail due to a water main break. Westbound Indian Trail is blocked at Farnsworth. Reagan Tollway eastbound, we're seeing delays 53 to 355 due to an earlier crash. The other tollways are okay for now. Edens looks fine. Inbound Kennedy, slow 190 to Canfield, Central to Lawrence. 23 minutes O'Hare to downtown. On Eisenhower, 40 minutes, 390 to the Burn Circle. Stevenson, 46 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Bryan, 21 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 17 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop Ford, 19. In Kenosha County, Wisconsin, with a crash on 94, westbound at Highway C, 2 left lanes are blocked. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Brian May.
Some sunshine today with a high of 42. Cloudy tonight, a bit of snow toward dawn, little or no accumulation, low 30. Cloudy and chilly tomorrow, a little snow accumulating according to an inch, high 36. I'm Brian May on AM 560, The Answer.
30 at O'Hare. Next news, 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Turnkey IT, giving you the freedom to focus on your business while they handle the technical stuff. Turnkey IT.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I know you missed Senator Kamala Harris from...
Is it Kamala, Kamal, Yamal?
Kamala Harris? Is it?
No, it's
Kamala.
Kamala.
I've already...
In Kamala. I think of Camelot.
Yeah. I'm going to stick with Kamala just because...
That's what you've been doing for a long time.
I like it better. Kamala Harris, Senator from California. I know you've missed her preening and
opining.
Well, and pointed leading questions. Oh, she's dizzying intellect, a wonderful lawyer, former California Attorney General. Yeah, right. So she was interrogating Ron Vitello yesterday. He is President Trump's nominee to head up ICE, Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. And she wanted to really probe Mr. Vitello.
Ew, I hate that word.
About
probe, moist. Ugh.
Yeah, probe is one of those. About acronyms, 3-letter acronyms, comparing the KKK to the ICE. Here is their exchange.
Well, the Klan was what we would call today a domestic terrorist group.
Why? Why would we call them domestic terrorist group?
Because they tried to use fear and force to change political environment.
And what was the motivation for the use of fear and force?
It was based on race and ethnicity.
Right. Are you aware of the perception of many about how the power and the discretion at ICE is being used to enforce the laws? And do you see any parallels?
I do not see any parallels between sworn
I'm talking about perception.
officers and agents.
I'm talking about perception.
I do not see a parallel between what is constitutionally mandated as it relates to enforcing the law.
Are you aware that there's a perception?
I see no.
Are you aware that there's a perception?
Puts ICE in the same category as the KKK. Is that what you're asking me?
No, I'm very specific about what I'm asking you. Are you aware of a perception that the way that the discretion
I see no parallel.
I'm not finished.
I see none.
I'm not finished. I'm not finished. Are you aware that there's a perception that ICE is administering its power in a way that is causing fear and intimidation, particularly among immigrants and specifically among immigrants coming from Mexico and Central America? Are you aware of that perception?
I do not see a parallel between the power and the authority that ICE has to do its job and the agents and officers who do it professionally and excellently with lots of compassion.
Sir, how can you be the head of an agency and be unaware of how your agency is perceived by certain communities?
There's a lot of perceptions in the media and in the public that are incorrect about the agency.
But the perception exists, would you agree? Whether or not it's correct. And wouldn't you agree then that if that perception exists, there might need to be some work done to correct the perception?
Okay, who wants to take this one? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line, 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. The question is, what should ICE do to correct the perception that Kamala Harris, Kamala the congenial, she's always very affable, that she has identified this perception that exists amongst a swath of the population that ICE is the Ku Klux Klan. What should Ron Vitiello and ICE do to address this perception that Kamala Harris has identified?
Did you know that ICE is a government agency and what their role is? And the KKK was a domestic terrorist group?
Well, I believe, yes, they cover that ground, yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's unbelievable that a sitting senator, a former attorney general of one of the largest states in our country, feels that way, would even go and even try and compare the two.
She is she's not nearly as skilled a fork-tongued barrister as she thinks she is. I'm not comparing the KKK to ICE. I'm saying there's a perception among unnamed people that the KKK or that ICE behaves like the KKK. What are you going to do to address that perception? Are you aware of this perception? What are you going to do to address it? If I was Ron Vitiello, I said, no, I'm aware of this perception. It's the Democrat socialist senators like you, Senator Harris, that have this perception, are promulgating this perception, and ascribing it to others. I get it. Here's the thing. Am I going to worry? The answer really is, if Vitiello wanted to push back more effectively, and I know this isn't his core competency. So you're telling me, Senator Harris, whatever perception anybody has in America, based largely on demagoguery from senators like you who want to abolish ICE, amplified by the D.C. press corps, that's what I should spend my time addressing. I should spend my time being a PR agent for ICE, or I should do what? A marketing campaign to say, hey, we're not the KKK, just thought you should know. Or should we do our jobs as it pertains to the physical security of American families? Which would you prefer we do, Senator Harris? Be marketing agents to address every crackpot description that you and your ilk come up with as it pertains to me and my agents? Or should we do the job that's in our charter to provide for the physical security of American families? That would be my rhetorical question back to you, Senator Harris, the Honorable Senator, Junior Senator from California.
Does she realize she's embarrassing herself? I mean, is she that out of touch with reality?
Not among her base, she's not.
Wow.
Not among the Democrat Socialist base of the 21st century Democrat Socialist Party, she's not. Tony in Plainfield, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Thanks for taking my call, Dan. Hi, Amy. You took a little bit of my thunder away. I was going to say Vitiello's responsibility is to make sure that his agents and others take their jobs responsibly, do it professionally, protect the American public, and not to cure the misconceptions of miscreants and others alike that they have, either positive or negative.
Thanks for the call, Tony. Paul in New Lenox.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my call again. Normally, I like to contribute something humorous, but I'm all wound up now. I was down in Ixtapa in the springtime, and was rerouted through Mexico City, and the police force down there, they're all dressed in black. I mean, they were so stinking intimidating, I didn't even want to look at them. And I hope our ICE agents are that intimidating, too, for the immigrants, or let me correct what Camilla said, immigrants, illegal people that shouldn't be in here. Yeah, I want my ICE force to look like what I saw down in Mexico City, so I hope they get intimidated by them. And I'm all wound up, so that's all I'm going to say now. But thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for the call, Paul.
It's just appalling what she said.
By the way, as it pertains to Mexico, since she specifically invoked Mexico, Kevin Williamson makes a good point over at National Review. Mexico is not a poor country.
They're very corrupt.
Well, right, but there's a real middle income strata in Mexico. GDP per capita is comparable to that of Argentina and Thailand, well above that of such socialist success stories, sarcasm, as Cuba and Venezuela, and above that of emerging countries like China, Brazil, and India. Mexico is almost 3 times as wealthy as India. Now, of course, there's great disparity, and you've got the cartels and all of those problems. And so, of course, there are Mexican people who want to come to America for a better life. Of course, that's true. But the idea that it's desperately poor across the board, that it is like Guatemala or Honduras, well, that's just not true. Like Iran, which is economically situated in very similar ways to Mexico, writes Williamson, Mexico has a great many problems that are unrelated to poverty per se. It's corruption, as you just pointed out. That's the problem, the central problem. Pat in Lockport, you're in Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hello?
Hi, Pat.
Yes, I just wanted to make a comment about that Kamala Harris. Number one, she's a pain in the neck who just loves to hear herself talk.
Yes.
Number two, if there's a perception of fear regarding ICE, I think that's pretty damn healthy. If you're afraid of ICE, that means that you're doing something illegal. You're entering this country illegally. Eliminate your fear and do it properly, or stay the hell out of here.
All right, thanks.
Let the guy do his job the way he's supposed to do and not worry about who's afraid of him and who's not. It makes no sense.
Thanks for the call, Pat. Appreciate that. Mike in Griffith, Indiana.
Hello?
Hi, Mike. Yep, you're on.
Hi, Dan. How you doing?
Good.
I just want to say that ICE is doing a fine job, and for her to compare them to the KKK, I mean, I was lost for words. And you know what? And in the old days, the KKK was the Democrats.
That's true. It's a very good point. Thanks for the call, Mike. Megan in Evanston.
Morning, guys. Good show. My only comment is now ICE is in the mind-reading game. I mean, perception, we have to now try to figure out what people are thinking. She's crazy. Thanks for taking my call.
All right. Thanks, Megan. Lewis in Dayton, Texas.
Morning, Dan. How you guys doing this morning?
Good.
First of all, her comments were completely wrong and disrespectful to ICE. You know, they're an organization here trying to enforce laws that are set in by the Constitution. And secondly, you know, I can't believe that she would say this, because she doesn't care if ICE is abolished and floods into America, because if that happens, her and the rest of the Democrats, you know, socialists, are going to be in their gated communities with their bodyguards. They don't care if these people flood in the country and live in our neighborhoods, because they're not going to be able to live in their neighborhoods because they have gates, they have walls, and they have security guards to protect them. And for her to say these things about people that are trying to help this country and better it, I mean, it's just mind-boggling with her ignorance. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Lewis. Holly and Hudson.
Well, I'm going to do this in my best Kamala voice. Well, let me ask you, Senator, are you aware that less than 1 in 10 Americans have approve of your Senate and congressional bodies, and how are you going to change the perception of how ineffective you are as a governing body?
That would have been a nice rejoinder, too. Very good, Holly. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. That would have been fun. Dan in Park Ridge.
Hey, Dan and Amy. Well, years ago, I was the public information officer for a police department on the north side. And Amy came to the station to interview me, and she was wearing an Iowa Hawkeyes hat.
Yeah,
so initially, my perception is she clearly didn't know what she was talking about.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But eventually, Amy, we did discuss economics and how it affects crime, and I realized that my initial perception was completely wrong.
Yeah, the Iowa Hawkeyes gear can throw you. I mean, I understand that, Dan. Thanks for the call. Yeah, appreciate it.
It's the chicken hawk. It's the herky. Nobody knows what it is. Is it a chicken? Is it a rooster? What is it?
Well, and also it's what Iowa connotes as it pertains to academic excellence, I think, was Dan's point.
But then we started talking about economics. That's when things really heated
Well,
up.
that's where you shine.
I know. Exactly. I mean, I'm all about math and science.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Have you ever been concerned that you might have high cholesterol? Did you know that high cholesterol is a key risk factor for heart disease? We are conducting a national research study that will examine a cholesterol-lowering medicine that could become available over the counter. If you are concerned you may have high cholesterol, you may qualify for this study. Take our online assessment at www.heartriskstudy.com to see if you qualify. Again, please visit www.heartriskstudy.com to see if you qualify.
On AM 560 The Answer, we talk about the important issues that affect your world. Things like the economy, education, and foreign policy. There's always so much going on in the news that we don't always have the time to focus in and talk about the big ideas behind the important issues. Enter Upstream Ideas online at upstream-ideas.com. Upstream Ideas, in partnership with the Illinois Opportunity Project, provides the kind of information that informs the policy discussions happening here on AM 560. At Upstream Ideas, you'll broaden the debate, move beyond partisan assumptions, and challenge accepted beliefs. Upstream Ideas goes against the current and thinks upstream. Go online now at upstream-ideas.com. That's upstream-ideas.com. You'll be armed with new information and fresh perspectives to help encourage you to make the state of Illinois and the United States of America a bit freer, a bit more just, and a bit more civilized. Upstream-ideas.com. Every business has two major goals, right? Bigger profits and lower operating costs. Well, while ComEd might not be able to help you directly grow your profits, they can help you lower your operating costs with instant discounts on energy-efficient LEDs. You'll save money right now, and you'll save again later on your energy bills. For instant discounts and other lighting solutions from the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program, visit ComEd.com/lighting solutions. ComEd. Powering lives.
Did you know that studies have shown that we need over 10 servings of fruits and veggies every single day? If you're like me, it's hard to find the time and money to prepare and eat all of those fruits and vegetables. Who can do that? Yet we know that proper nutrition can prevent health problems, give us energy, and help us heal faster. Balance of Nature has spent over 20 years researching and delivering solutions to this problem. We can ensure that you consume over 30 different fruits and veggies every single day. Our capsules are filled with 100% real whole foods. There isn't a single thing added to Balance of Nature products. They're pure. We spent an incredible amount of time on the quality of our products. We do this for you. We do it for our own families. Give yourself a break and give your body what it needs. Call now to receive 35% off your first Balance of Nature order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Mick O'Rourke, President and CEO of Signature Bank, Chicago's business bank. I'd like to thank our customers for selecting Signature as their trusted banking partner to help build their businesses. We started Signature in 2006, and we've had the opportunity to meet so many hardworking Chicagoans. From third-generation family-owned businesses on the west side of Chicago to tech innovators at 1871. Signature Bank is proud to work across many different industries in the city and beyond. As the fastest growing, independently owned business bank in Chicago, Signature is always welcoming new customers. I'd love to meet you and learn about your business.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan,
Oh my
excuse
God.
me, Dan and Amy.
How's that turkey sandwich?
It's pretty good.
What did you put on there?
A little Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yeah, the honey mustard Chick-fil-A sauce.
That makes
on
a
top of
sandwich.
it.
There's no question. Chick-fil-A, geniuses.
I would like to thank our friends at WYLL for. They had an event yesterday, and they ordered an extra 50 sandwiches.
Yeah, good for the scavengers over on this side of the house. Right.
So we're down like 26 now. Free food. You know, who doesn't like free food?
It's actual audio of Steve
Yeah,
Ball.
those Panera sandwiches are good.
All right. So, as Kamala Harris
Yes.
was trying to propagate the perception that ICE is the KKK, Secretary of Defense Jim Mattis, Secretary of Homeland Security Christian Nielsen,
Who I do not want Trump to get rid of. She's too easy on the eyes, and she's. I mean, really, and
Ooh,
she's
take
doing
it easy.
Yeah. Okay. Again, I'm not a lesbian. But she is a very good-looking woman, and she seems like she's doing a heck of a job down there.
Okay.
She's always at the border. She's standing by the wall, making sure everything's safe.
They went down there to speak to the troops that are backing the play of Border Patrol. Now, listen to these two individuals, Jim Mattis, you'll hear from General Mattis, and then think about Kamala Harris, and tell me which side of the skirmish line you want to be on. Just think about that. General Mattis talking to the press about his trip to the border before he got there, the purpose.
I want to see how the troops are doing who have been deployed in support of the Department of Homeland Security and the Customs and Border Patrol agents on the border. Border security is part of national security. Our units are in a position to enable the Border Patrol's law enforcement operations. We determined that the mission was absolutely legal, and this was also reviewed by Department of Justice lawyers. It's obviously a moral and ethical mission to support our Border Patrolmen. There's nothing new under the sun. I would put this in a little historic context. I think many of you are aware that President Wilson, 100 years ago, a little over 100 years ago, deployed the U.S. Army to the southwest border. That's over a century ago. The threat then was Pancho Villa's troops, a revolutionary raiding across the border into the United States, New Mexico in 1916. And there's a more recent history of DOD support on the border. It spans 4 administrations of both political parties. During President Clinton's administration, from 1994 to 1995, the National Guard and several hundred active duty personnel, military personnel, were assigned to assist law enforcement.
Nice to give a history lesson to the know-nothing Democrat Socialist senators like Kamala Harris. Then Mattis and Nielsen, the two secretaries, visited with the troops along the border. And here is the message that General Mattis delivered on behalf of both of them.
But in this case, we were asked by the Secretary, due to the number of people coming this way, to back them up. What does that mean? It means that her people do all the work, but we're standing behind them as a confidence builder and that sort of thing. Put in deploy the various barbed wire so that their people can handle it. That's how we back them up, okay? Now, there's all sorts of stuff in the news and that sort of thing. You just concentrate on what your company commander, your battalion commander tells you. Because if you read all that stuff, you'll go nuts. You know what I mean? You know what your mission is here. You've had to deploy on short notice to a non-traditional location and do your job. So you focus on doing that.
So Mattis or Harris, which side do you want to stand on as it pertains to the future of our country? And I don't just mean in the interest of national security and the immediacy.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer, President Trump heading to California as the number of missing grows into the hundreds.
And filmmaker Ami Horowitz went down to the border and reported back to Tucker some interesting observations from Mr. Horowitz at 6:36.
But now let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Cloudy skies, 30 degrees this morning. House Democrat leader Nancy Pelosi this morning has a message for anyone thinking of challenging her bid for Speaker of the House.
Say to everybody, come on in, the water's warm.
The Capitol yesterday, Pelosi expressing some confidence that she has the votes to become Speaker, but a large group of Democrats is trying to block Pelosi's bid. At least 7 are dead in a huge storm that plugged up traffic in the eastern third of the country. The slow-moving snowstorms closed schools and snarled air travel. Broward County, Florida's election office trying to explain how they finished a machine recount of ballots in time but missed a deadline to file them by about 2 minutes. The state on Thursday went with the earlier reported totals because of that blown deadline. There will now be a hand recount in 2 Florida races for Senate and Ag Commissioner. The Navy is charging 2 SEAL team members and 2 Marines with the murder of an Army Green Beret. Navy officers brought felony murder charges against the 4 suspects in the June 2017 strangulation death of Staff Sergeant Logan Melgar. The suspects are accused of breaking into Melgar's room and killing him during a burglary during military operations against al-Qaeda in northern Africa. It's a story we'll watch carefully for the next several months as 7 women are now suing Dartmouth College for $70 million over what they call a 21st century Animal House culture and sexually predatory professors. The suit claims the college knowingly permitted 3 prominent professors to turn a human behavior research department into a place that treated students as sex objects. In other stories we're following this morning, state police are investigating after a person was shot by police in Country Club Hills. Licensed practical nurses at the University of Illinois Hospital and clinics are on strike. The sticking points are job protections and fair wages. A Western Springs man is charged with distribution of child pornography. Edward Evans appeared in court yesterday. The Cook County Sheriff's Office says he used a messaging app downloaded to his personal tablet to send explicit images of children twice in the past year. Seahawks over the Packers in Thursday night football, 27-24. Blackhawks host the Kings tonight. Bulls in Milwaukee. And DePaul holds on to beat Penn State last night in OT, 72-70 in college hoops. The news service of Compassion International. Release a child from poverty when you become a Compassion sponsor. Choose your child now at compassion.com/radio and do your part to release a child from poverty today. 6:33 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Finally, all the shouting is over. We now have winners and losers. This election season seemed to be more difficult, contentious, and even painful than ever before. For all you winners, congratulations. For all you losers, you can always try again. For the American people, time to do as we always do. Come together and heal. Hey, life will go on. America is still the greatest, best hope for the world. If you don't believe it, just stick with us. We'll get you through. AM 560, The Answer.
What if you could enjoy total peace of mind when it comes to home security? What if the best technology came from a local company who puts the customer's needs first? Alarm Detection Systems is the right choice for an alarm system with complete control from your phone or tablet. Know when your children arrive home from school. View live streaming video. Check up on your pets. Receive alerts for extreme temperatures. Know if leaks or floods have been detected. Get real-time text alerts sent to your phone. Family-owned and operated since 1968, Alarm Detection Systems understands that nothing is more important than the safety of your family. Your security system will be monitored by our central station in Aurora, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Alarm Detection Systems is an authorized Honeywell equipment dealer. Our on-site security consultation is always free. Visit adsalarm.com or call 630-844-6322. That's 630-844-6322. Alarm license number 127000143.
It is 6:35. Let's check the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
In Aurora, southbound Farnsworth is blocked at Indian Trail with a water main break. Westbound Indian Trail blocked at Farnsworth. Kennedy, 28 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. Outbound 27. Delays on westbound 190. Crash River Road in the right lane. On Eisenhower, 44 minutes, 390 to downtown, outbound 32. Stevenson, 55 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive, outbound 36. Ryan, 26 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 24 minutes, I-80 to the Verge, Bishop Ford 30. Northbound Tri-State stop and go, Dixie Highway to I-80, crash in the center lane. It's heavy from the Reagan Tollway to 290. Indiana Toll Road westbound heavy before the state line. Jackknife semi, 2 right lanes. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Partial sunshine today, high 41. Snow moves into the area overnight. Bit of snow towards dawn, especially with a little bit of accumulation, low of 30. 30 right now at O'Hare. Next news at 7. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Secure Retirement Radio with host Raj Shah. Sunday mornings at 7 on AM 560, The Answer.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy and the Caravan, much to the chagrin and in contravention of the reporting that was done pre-election, Caravan continues to move towards the United States border. Jumping fences and border impediments along the way. Oh, that'll never happen. Oh, they're so far away. Well, no.
No, they're here in Tijuana, right, in California.
Yeah, that's right.
A few of them. But so far, from what I was told, especially by my buddy down there, he said that Border Patrol's handling it. I mean, they have the backup of the soldiers.
Yeah.
But they're doing it so far.
And the Caravan has the backup of the Mexican police and a well-financed operation. So Ami Horowitz, a filmmaker, you see him on Fox time to time.
I like him.
He went down to the Caravan and reported back to Tucker Carlson show.
Oh, good. I can't wait.
With the media reports, the D.C. press corps, when I say media reports, what Ami Horowitz found. Let's begin with the composition of those making their way to the border.
Despite the framing of the Caravan as being full of women and children, the reality on the ground is quite different. Approximately 90 to 95% of the migrants were male.
Why are they fleeing their home country to come to America? For asylum, they face constant threat of political persecution. Guatemala's president is a comedian.
Right.
Okay. Here's Ami Horowitz. Why are you coming to America? Asks some of the migrants in the Caravan.
Why are you coming to America?
Bueno, voy buscando una mejor vida económica.
Vine a trabajar aquí a Estados Unidos. A ver si podemos trabajar allá porque en Honduras no hay trabajo.
I left it in Spanish because I wanted you to translate.
He said something about he's going to find a trabajo, which is a job.
Right. Economico, you heard that, right?
Yeah, economics, because I love economics.
Yeah.
I'm a whiz.
All three of the men that Horowitz interviewed there said economic reasons.
Right.
A job. And I don't blame them, but that's not what's being reported. You know, you understand?
No, I know what's being reported is this woman, they show her poor baby needs help, medical help, and her husband's a gangbanger, and they're fleeing for their lives.
Right, and
that's probably true.
It's probably true. Well, there's also violence that's occurred in the Caravan. We'll get to that in a second. But
sex trafficking.
I can appreciate why people want to come to this country for a job or for a better life. I get that.
That's why my grandpa came here. He didn't want to work on the farm.
Of course, we understand that. That's not what's being reported. That's not a basis for asylum. That's a basis to try to legally get into this country, isn't it? Horowitz on the effort that is attendant to the Caravan, all the supplies and logistics, all organic? Not exactly.
There's a massive logistical effort underway, akin to moving an army, and is clearly costing someone millions of dollars for the transportation, food, water, medicine, and services that are being provided for the members of the Caravan. the Mexican government also seems to be sending police to escort the dozens of buses and trucks that are ferrying the migrants and supplies along the route to the next destination. Ever present among the thousands of migrants are workers of Pueblos Sin Fronteras, clad in black t-shirts and colored vests. Pueblos Sin Fronteras means people without borders. They're the ones that seem to be most involved in organizing and mobilizing this caravan. The organization, as the name implies, is looking to create a world without borders, which seems to be one of the reasons why they organized this caravan in the first place, to flout American sovereignty.
Robert Arce, a retired Phoenix police detective who spent a lot of time working Mexican organized crime and street gangs cases, reported over at Breitbart this week, 22 buses with 900 caravan migrants near the U.S. border. They arrived in the northern border state of Sonora, escorted by state and federal police on Wednesday, consistent with what Ami Horowitz is seeing during his travels down there. As to the composition of the caravan, 90 to 95% men, and also
90 to 95% men.
That's what Ami Horowitz observed.
Oh my God! Watching the local news, you think it's all women and children.
Precisely.
Holy cow! What about the guy holding the Honduran flag? How's he holding up? Or did he catch a ride? Did he hitchhike with someone? Huh?
Well,
get on the back of somebody's pickup truck.
What we're finding out is some of those in the caravan who are peaceful people, just want a better life, are catching a beating from less than savory characters.
While it does seem as the majority of these migrants are friendly and simply trying to make a better life for themselves and their families, there's an undeniable element of the migrants who are violent and dangerous. And many of the migrants know this, and some have experienced it.
En el viaje hemos recibido agresiones verbales, físicas.
And they had a couple of guys that he talked to that just talked about being beaten up, basically. But just so I wanted you to hear that, just so you understand that he's talking to people in the caravan. He's on site, asking the straightforward questions, and these are the answers he's getting back. By the way, that's not the first time that that's happened. We've had other individuals in that caravan, other migrants who've been interviewed, who've said the same thing. It's just not part of the narrative the D.C. Press Corps wants to tell, so they suppress it. Then Ami Horowitz came on to Tucker Carlson's show to talk a little bit about this, and particularly, again, going back to how this is organized, who may be financing it. This is what Horowitz had to say.
This is all this weird, this organic thing, and all the water and the food and the medicine all dropped from manna from heaven. It's baloney. It's all highly organized. It's paid for by a number of organizations. We don't know exactly where the money is coming from. We do know that Pueblos Sin Frontera, which is the main group which is organized this caravan, has a couple of front organizations in the United States, and the money is flowing from them to Pueblos Sin Fronteras. We know there are some leftist groups. I know it's forbidden to say that Soros is part of it, but Soros has in fact funded at least some of those groups in the past. So we don't know where the money is exactly coming from. We know it's not coming from Honduras.
And we also know, per Mike Pence's conversation with, I believe it was the Guatemalan president, that Venezuela was pointed to as a country that's underwriting some of this unrest as well.
Yeah, because, I mean, they're getting free meals, water, drinks along the way. I mean, people are supporting them, but I don't know, again, where that money is really coming from, because that's a lot of money. That's thousands of dollars. And then somebody skips forward and sets up tents to the city that they're going to, stop at the next day, and on it goes.
Right. And that
so
also,
that's so strange to me. It's like an organized marathon, really.
Or like a huge trip.
Like if water spouts, stops. Whatever.
There's also medical tents.
Yep.
So these poor migrants from Central America, they have all this wherewithal? No, of course not. So the People Without Borders group, with the black shirts on, that seem to be the organizers and have relationships back to Soros-funded organizations in this country and perhaps others. I don't know. I mean, you start to piece it together. At least you start to ask the right questions so you can piece it together, rather than just tell this fairy tale that the D.C. Press Corps is telling. I mean, the truth is important.
Well, never let the facts get in the way of a good story.
I appreciate Amy Horowitz's good work on that, asking questions. And I would, I'd love to put these side by side, or put Amy Horowitz side by side with your fungible CNN or MSNBC anchor, and have him ask the same questions, or look at the reporting and say, what about this, what about that? Because he was actually on site. He actually conducted interviews. He actually witnessed how the operation works. And it seems to me, as I said, you've got creative writers that are penning stories for the news readers to tell on CNN and MSNBC and the rest of the D.C. press corps that don't quite square with the reality on the ground, thus the need for troops to the border, and thus the need for a change in our immigration policy.
And I think it's gonna be a long, long walk until I get to the United States. I'm not the man my passport says I am. Oh, no, no, no. I'm in the caravan. Caravan. Holding up the Honduran flag. Holding up the Honduran flag.
You've made the switch, and it feels so good. You've switched to Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. President Trump to meet with California wildfire victims this weekend, and the average mortgage interest rate flat this week. Those stories next.
Are you a stock or options trader looking for real trading strategies that you can use immediately? Hi, my name is Scott Bauer, CEO of Prosper Trading Academy, and I'm on a mission to become the #1 options coach in America. I'm a former vice president at Goldman Sachs. I have over 25 years of options trading experience, and right now I'm giving away my most famous options guide with over 20 unique options strategies that I use every day for free. You can't buy this guide anywhere. To claim your free options trading guide, simply call 855-892-2307 now and mention my name, Scott Bauer, and we will rush you the guide. Call 855-892-2307, and someone from my options team will help you get this guide in your inbox as quickly as possible. Call 855-892-2307 now and start learning to trade the right way. Call 855-892-2307. Prosper with options.
Stocks and options trading involves financial risk and is not suitable for all investors.
President Trump plans to travel to California tomorrow. There he'll visit people devastated by the wildfires, in which at least 58 people have been killed. The fires have prompted the evacuation of hundreds of thousands of people in both northern and southern California, and the destruction of thousands upon thousands of homes. Long-term mortgage interest rates steady to slightly higher this week, those rates at the highest levels in nearly 8 years. Mortgage buyer Freddie Mac says the average interest rate on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage unchanged from a week ago. It stands at 4.94%. An FDA official wants to ban menthol from regular cigarettes and outlaw flavors in all cigars, and tighten rules on the sale of most flavored versions of e-cigarettes. The restrictions aimed at cutting smoking by kids. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight at 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
By the way, it was Pence met with the spoke with the Honduran president.
Oh, not the
who
Guatemalan.
identified Venezuela. Just want to correct the record on that.
Thank you so much. Hey, do you know why I'm so chipper and spry this morning? It's because I slept on a MyPillow. I love it because you can move the patented fill to get the support so that you can get the best night's sleep. And have you heard about the MyPillow mattress topper? Oh, yeah.
I've heard the bird is the word. I haven't heard about the topper. Tell me more.
Let me tell you about the topper, Dan. It's got an exclusive 3-layer design. The transitional foam to help relieve pressure points. The ultra-soft patented temperature regulating cover. And there's also the MyPillow foam for your support. 3 layers of luxury. And guess what? The cover you can throw in the washer and dryer if it gets dirty. It's made in the US of A and has Mike Lindell's 60-day money-back guarantee. And right now, if you get that MyPillow mattress topper, he'll throw in 2 free standard MyPillows. Hello. Also, if you go to MyPillow.com, you can buy those dog beds that you can put in the washer and dryer. Bunky loves her dog bed. And there's these great sheets and pillowcases that you can get as well. Go to MyPillow.com for all your holiday shopping, for your Christmas shopping. But you have to type in Amy at the promo code, and then voila, 30% is taken off your order right away. MyPillow.com or call 800 800-489-0201. That's 800-489-0201. Promo code Amy.
All right, if your roof's needy, you can call Crumweedy. Hey, Sean Hannity here. If your roof is leaky, if the shingles are curling, or if your roof isn't right after storms, then you need to call Crumweedy with roofing companies, and the difference is, of course, installation. Now, Crumweedy, they know that, and that's why they follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact, and many companies don't do that, and that could void your warranty. If you hate high-pressure sales tactics, not from Crumweedy. They give you good, better, best options. You make the choice, no pressure. Crumweedy is a roof that lasts at a fair price. Now, Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy, they lead this third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland roofs since 1953. Now, they fix roof problems, so if your roof is needy, call Crumweedy. That's 630-595-8020. That's 630-595-8020. They're online, of course, at myroofisneedy.com.
Pain drugs are addictive and have side effects. Get off the drugs, get rid of the pain. You don't need to live with chronic pain. Let's repeat, you do not have to live in pain. Chronic pain is the worst, from an accident or pain that just develops. Dr. Ken Candido is one of the most respected and successful pain doctors in the world. Dr. Candido will work to find the source of your chronic pain and fix it. He teaches pain management around the world and has been voted one of Chicago's best pain doctors several times. Okay, you get it. He's the pain doctor you need. Dr. Candido, Chicago anesthesia and pain specialist, will help you get off the pain medication and all of its side effects. You can get your life back. Drugs mask the pain, find the source, and fix it. Call Dr. Ken Candido and make an appointment with a cutting-edge, respected, and successful pain physician. Go to mypainchicago.com. That's mypainchicago.com. Thousands have been helped with their chronic pain. You be the next one. Get the phone number and all the info at mypainchicago.com.
We're in the holiday season, and everybody's scrambling around to find the right Christmas gift. I have a magical place for the magical gift for somebody on your list. I want you to give a gift for my friends at Roland's Jewelers. I'm a customer. In fact, recently got a watch from Roland's Jeweler that I absolutely love. You know, jewelry is all about trust. Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville is a place you can trust. Who else would offer AM 560 listeners up to $500 in savings on designer brands like Mickey Moto, John Hardy, Roberto Coin? You'll save on luxury watches you love, like Tag Heuer or Michelle and Shinola. Shinola is the kind of watch that I got. As an AM 560 listener, you're going to save up to $500. Roland's Jewelers, downtown Libertyville. You got to make a stop or go online. RolandsJewelers.com, ROLLANDS, RolandsJewelers.com. This holiday season, trust Roland's to make all your gift-giving magical. Roland's Jewelers, a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
Your Balance of Nature did boost up my immune system, so I love it. I normally get sick in the winter maybe 2 or 3 times. I only got sick once this year. And I normally get fever blisters, and I haven't gotten them. And my fiance noticed a boost in energy in me.
My head is a little clearer. I don't feel quite so foggy. I was able to spend a week or so working on my winter supply of firewood and get it in the garage, so it gave me the endurance to do the job.
The only thing I could say is I don't get sick. You know, I used to get a lot of colds.
Taking Willow's various supplements from a cost point of view was more expensive than your product. I'm getting proven results with yours.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
Well, everybody's heard about the bird.
Dan and Amy, and we're talking about the caravan.
Who sings this song, by the way? What? Somebody tell me. Oh, the what? The trash cans?
Are those voices in your head?
The trash men? The trash men.
Yeah.
Hey, sorry.
One Hit Wonder.
I'm grieving over here that Roy Clark died, all right?
It's true.
What songs did he sing, Dan?
The theme song to Hee Haw. He was he was quite a talented musician. He sort of is like caricatured because of Hee Haw, but yes, R.I.P. Roy Clark. All right, we were talking about the caravan, and no, that's not a prompt for you to play your song again.
Justin. Oh, by the way, I wrote the lyrics.
It's great.
Riveting.
Emmy-nominated caravan parody song. Bruce in Bloomingdale, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Morning, guys. Who's picking and who's grinning? We can stop this caravan tomorrow. All President Trump needs to do is order that every truck and every rail car coming across the border be hand searched down to the level of the individual carton. I don't care if it backs it up all the way to Guatemala. The Mexicans will fold in 24 hours once we start finding their drugs and contraband.
All right. Thanks for the call, Bruce. Ann in Chicago.
Yes. Good morning. Thanks for taking my call. Yeah, I heard them say they're all organized by social media. Anybody that has a cell phone is not a refugee. And I certainly would come here for a job for $15 an hour. Yeah, I'd break the fences too. And all the marijuana we're going to need. They want workers on that too. So it's a farce. I think our country is being disrespected, and I resent it.
Thanks for the call, Ann. Appreciate that.
It's very serious.
Well, thinking about breaking fences. John in Palatine.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Listen, I was talking to Joe Walsh yesterday evening, and I asked him, I've got 2 points. I asked him who in the Republican Party or conservatives is actually voicing an opposition to the legalization movement that I think is sprouting up, and also regarding Kamala Harris, same thing. Who in the RNC is basically telling her ideas for what they are? They're kind of dangerous to our country, and I think our leaders on our side should speak up about it. Otherwise, it gets promoted.
Well, yeah. Thanks for the call, John. You do have some leaders on our side speaking up about it. You know, like the President of the United States. I mean, I wouldn't exactly say President Trump has been a shrinking violet on the topic, or on the effort underway by Democrat socialists, which is where the energy is in the Democrat Socialist Party, not surprisingly, to abolish ICE. I mean, and by the way, to be fair, because we've played him on this show, there was more than one ad that was put out by the RNC and other Republican candidates this cycle about immigration policy, about the extremism of the left that wants to abolish ICE. I mean, Kemp in Georgia, remember we played his closing ad. This guy said, I'm going to get in my
pickup truck and
round him up
myself.
If I need to, yeah. I mean, so that's not exactly subtle. I mean, so, yeah, there are some Republicans that are weak-kneed on the topic, and there are many who are not. Unfortunately, I think the window has closed for us to do substantive reforms that are both pro-legal immigration as well as pro-border security, because we lost the House, and that's definitely a failure of the first 2 years of the Trump administration and of the Paul Ryan and Mitch McConnell majorities in the House and Senate, respectively. No question about it.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we'll pick up the discussion of immigration policy as well as the Florida recounts with our friend Brett Baer at 7:07.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here is Mike Scott.
Fireworks have been set off twice in a Chicago high school, bringing parents to a principal's meeting. Target will stick with their decision to close 2 Southside stores. U.S. Representative Jan Schakowsky is endorsing Tony Preckwinkle in the Chicago mayoral's race. And Pace has good news for the suburbs. No fare hikes. Blackhawks host the Kings tonight. Bulls take on the Bucks this evening. And DePaul beat Penn State. WIND Chicago News Time is 7 o'clock.
They're getting ready to count votes by hand across Florida. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Republican folks are concerned that their seats are further away and they can't see.
Yeah, they can see. I already tested them.
Well, that's in the Broward County Elections Office this morning, getting ready to go over about 58,000 ballots in question. 54,000 more will be examined in 64 other counties and an undisclosed number in 2 more.
In those key races that were decided by less than 0.25%. That includes the U.S. Senate race between Republican Governor Rick Scott, who is leading incumbent Senator Bill Nelson by 13,000 votes. However, in the governor's race, race between Republican Ron DeSantis and Tallahassee Mayor Andrew Gillum, it is over. The recount revealing DeSantis still leads pretty much as he did from the original count.
That's Fox's Phil Keating. It's up to 63 people dead in that Northern California wildfire that's burned down 9,500 homes. The number of people unaccounted for spiked up to 631.
Officials are hoping people will check the missing persons list and mark themselves safe so they can get a more accurate count of who really is missing. The sheriff says many people who've been displaced may not know other people are looking for them.
Fox's Claudia Cowan in Paradise. 3 others died in a wildfire in Southern California. President Trump will meet with victims tomorrow. Amid the attempt to get North Korea to denuclearize, it's tested a new weapon, but that's not the only news out of that country. Fox's Simon Owen monitoring live from London.
Dave, North Korea sending conflicting signals, first announcing that it has successfully tested what it calls a newly developed high-tech tactical weapon and offering no specifics. But within hours of that announcement, there was also news about an American prisoner. North Korea saying it's decided to release a man who it detained a month ago for entering the country illegally. The North Korean government saying the man told investigators that he'd been manipulated by the CIA. Dave.
This is Fox News.
Cloudy skies, 31 degrees at 7:02 on AM 560. The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. State police continue to investigate after a person was shot by police in Country Club Hills. The incident happened last night near the Bank of America on West 167th. Parents demanding more answers after fireworks were set off twice this week at Morgan Park High School on Chicago's South Side. A group of parents confronted the school's principal during a meeting last night.
We have kids that's coming to school to get an education. They cannot get an education if you got these other ones out here just trying to create havoc.
At least one student was hospitalized with smoke inhalation after the fireworks went off. No one is hurt this morning after a group of tourists was rescued from an elevator in the John Hancock Center. 6 people were trapped for several hours early this morning after the elevator stopped moving between the 12th and 11th floors of the high-rise in the 800 block of North Michigan Avenue. Firefighters had to break through a wall to get the people out. Prosecutors are opposing a change of plea motion by a 25-year-old suburban man accused of trying to detonate what he thought was a bomb in Chicago. They filed a response in Chicago federal court late yesterday. A day earlier, the defense had asked a judge to allow Adel Daoud to enter an Alford plea just days before his November 26 trial. Prosecutors citing defense statements that they intend to put the FBI on trial for entrapping Daoud in a sting, and they argued that accepting the plea would let those claims stand. U.S. Representative Jan Schakowsky is backing Toni Preckwinkle for her run for mayor of Chicago. Democrats saying Preckwinkle is the progressive in the race. Seattle beat the Packers 27-24 in Thursday night football. Blackhawks host the Kings tonight. The Bulls are in Milwaukee. Last night in college hoops, DePaul held on to beat Penn State 72-70. The News is a service of the Illinois Bone and Joint Institute. The Illinois Bone and Joint Institute has more advanced fellowship-trained physicians than any other orthopedic practice in the Midwest and the most comprehensive medical, diagnostic, and rehabilitative services. Visit ibji.com to learn more. 7:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Finally, all the shouting is over. We now have winners and losers. This election season seemed to be more difficult, contentious, and even painful than ever before. For all you winners, congratulations. For all you losers, you can always try again. For the American people, time to do as we always do. Come together and heal. Hey, life will go on. America is still the greatest, best hope for the world. If you don't believe it, just stick with us. We'll get you through. AM 560, The Answer.
It's the holiday sales event at Ford. It's a big deal, and we're busy making preparations to get you the best deals of the year. Because unlike Santa's presents, ours don't just magically appear. At Ford, ours are built in real factories, where pickup trucks come with best-in-class towing and payload, where SUVs are built with available features like terrain management and driver assist technologies, and where every bolt, stitch, and line of code is tested and tested again. But you don't have to write Santa a letter to get these presents. Naughty or nice, Just come see your Ford dealer during our holiday sales event for our best offers of the year. Ford, built for the holidays. Built Ford proud.
Best-in-class towing and payload when properly configured. Class's light-duty pickups under 8,500 pounds GVWR based on Ford segmentation.
If you maintain an industrial plant, you know your dust collection systems are a vital part of the operation of your plant. Without them, things can get dusty quick. And when your dust collection system malfunctions, the downtime can cost your plant money. Time to call the professionals at Vans Industrial for help.
Hi, I'm Dave Van Camp, owner of Vans Industrial. At Vans, we work with many different types and sizes of dust collectors from 1,000 CFM to 100,000 CFM. If your system needs housing repair, tube sheet, pulse valves, ductwork, or collection hoods, give us a call. Schedule an inspection today to keep things running smoothly and avoid costly downtime. And when you're ready for a new dust collector, we can design your system from the collection hoods to the stack for plants of all size applications.
Vans uses only the best and safest union-trained mechanics, insured at the highest level, to perform the job right. Call 833-VANS-IND. That's 833-VANS-IND. Or on the web at vansindustrial.com.
Illinois Bone and Joint Institute has more advanced fellowship-trained doctors than at any other orthopedic practice in the Midwest, and the most comprehensive medical diagnostic and rehabilitative services. Visit ibji.com to learn more.
7:07, the news, a service of Unbound.org. Right now, young people across the world face a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at Unbound.org. 7:07, and a check of the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
The Indiana Toll Road is closed westbound from Indianapolis Boulevard to the state line due to a jackknife semi-crash. Traffic's forced off at Indianapolis. Northbound Tri-State has delays from Halstead to I-80 after a wreck, and from Archer to 47th, and from Reagan to Balmoral. Aiden's 22 minutes, Lake Cook to the junction, outbound 23. Kennedy, 39 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 21 from Montrose, 16 on the Express. Outbound 40 minutes to the airport. On Eisenhower, 50 minutes, 390 to downtown. 35 from Manheim, outbound 35 to 390. Stevenson, 57 minutes, 355 to the drive, outbound 40. Ryan, 28 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57, 22 minutes, side to the merge. Bishop Ford, 32. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Brian May.
Partly sunny today with a high of 42. Tonight, cloudy with a bit of snow toward dawn. Little or no accumulation, low 30. Cloudy and chilly tomorrow, a little snow, accumulating according to an inch, high 36. Cold Sunday, some sun, high 35. I'm Brian May on AM 560, The Answer.
Clouds and 30 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas Coffee, a family tradition since 1897.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. A forceful plurality of voters believe that the media is unfair, biased, and disrespectful to President Trump. This, according to a poll conducted by D.C. polling outfit McLaughlin and Associates. Wide support for the White House's suspension of CNN reporter Jim Acosta's press access. In fact, as one of the principals of this polling firm noted, by a 5-to-1 margin, all voters, as well as independents, say the media are unfair and biased against President Trump. Earlier this year, we found 77% don't believe, or say you can't believe everything in the media. Only 14% said you could. So they conclude the partisan division has really hurt the media's credibility, and they will not recover from it without a major change in tone and substance. So it's interesting to note, even as you've had most, except for maybe one that One News America. What's that? One America News.
One America News.
Yeah. Weigh in on behalf of CNN, including Fox, and the restoration of Jim Acosta's press credentials. That's not where the American people are. And I wonder if President Trump knows the numbers or just is relying on his instinct that is consistent with the numbers, that if I could pick an opponent to present a binary to the American public, Jim Acosta would be my pick. So thank you, CNN, which is what I really think the president's position is here. Strong political hand, weak legal hand, play the weak legal hand to gain the political capital. That's what I think is happening. For more on this topic and others, we're pleased to be joined by our friend Bret Baier, host of Fox News Special Report, 5 p.m. Chicago time, weekdays. The book, 3 Days in Moscow, Ronald Reagan and the Fall of the Soviet Empire. Bret, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Good morning.
What about that, you think, in terms of the CNN suit and the issue as a matter of the law and the issue as a matter of politics, and it seems to be the chasm between the two?
Yeah, I think you're right. First of all, I mean, just to explain Fox's position on the news side, we wrote an amicus brief to support CNN on the issue of access, on the issue that the White House can't use credentials as a punishment, no matter how egregious or forward-leaning the questioning is. We are not standing behind Jim Acosta's tone and temperament in that press conference. We're standing behind access, and that the president has the right to not call on Jim Acosta ever. He could ice him out from every time that he gets in a press conference. But as far as closing off credentials, you know, it opens up a door. If President Elizabeth Warren decides that she doesn't like Fox's questions, can she pull the credentials from our White House correspondent? Well, there's not a constitutional right. It's a negotiation that had been made between the White House Correspondents Association and the White House.
Yeah, no, that's an important clarification, although I don't appreciate you using the prospect of a President Elizabeth Warren.
Well, what do you think personally, though, of what Jim Acosta did? Do you think, because he used to be a reporter here in Chicago, and, you know, he was just, you know, not too highs of highs or lows of lows. He was just, you know, fact-oriented, but now he seems like he's trying to make a name for himself.
Well, I agree. And there's a lot of people in the White House who are his colleagues who feel the same. There are some times when he can ask very good probing questions, but in the press conference in question, he was arguing. He was making a stand, editorial stand. And, you know, our job is to ask questions. You can do them pointedly, but still you're asking questions. You're not in an argument with the president. And, you know, Brit Hume, Chris Wallace have talked about all of that. I agree with your assessment about politics and legality, because the president wants to have that exchange with Jim Acosta. It's not that he doesn't want it. He wants it.
Right.
Because he wants exactly what transpired to happen, so that he can turn around and say, see, you know, fake news media, and that's a winning political hand. Over the long haul, it hurts us all, and some of my colleagues have gone over their skis in their kind of reaction to it. They've gotten emotional about it, as opposed to just being straight down the middle.
Well, it's funny. It's because what you're describing is something that's being picked up on by everyone from Jon Stewart to Bob Woodward, but there's a lot of room in between those two names. They've both said the same thing. Essentially, you're playing right into President Trump's hands by making it so personal and discarding your professionalism.
Yeah, and it plays on the narcissism actually of our business, and the how dare you, sir, kind of indignation of you're saying that we're not doing our job right, and then suddenly a lot of them are not doing their job right because they get so off their game by the way Donald Trump deals with things. Over the long haul, as I said, I don't think it's great for anybody. But in the short term, politically, clearly it benefits the president.
Well, speaking of doing your job as a member of the press, I was really impressed with the work that Ami Horowitz did at the border Ami Horowitz dispatched down to the border, independent filmmaker, dispatched to the border to actually chronicle what the caravan is doing, who the caravan is, how this is operating, what their perspectives are, the migrants in the caravan. And he sort of reported back, at least where I saw it, reported back to Tucker Carlson on his program. And you couldn't have two different accounts of the answers to those questions than the account provided by Ami Horowitz and the account that we see on CNN and MSNBC and through the major D.C. outlets.
Yeah, and it's really interesting is that the big storyline is that the caravan, because the president hasn't tweeted about it or talked about it, is just make-believe. It's just not there. And I actually heard it on election night from a couple of, Juan Williams said it, Ed Randell said it, it's all make-believe. Well, no, I mean, it's really happening. It's really there. You can debate whether it's a threat or not, or debate how much of a threat it is, but it's still moving. It's still happening, and we're still covering it.
And Jim Madison, Secretary Nielsen, not going down to the border as part of some grand conspiracy to defraud the American people. There are real troops down there supporting real border patrol on a real mission.
I mean, it's not make-believe. You can debate whether it was necessary to deploy troops, but this president has decided that that is a goal, and he's talked about it ever since being a candidate, is securing the border. I think the biggest debate now will be whether he gets his funding for a wall and whether we head to another government shutdown on December 7th.
Well, speaking of the border security, Kirstjen Nielsen, what are you hearing about her? Why is there a rift between her and President Trump? And do you think he really is going to replace her?
We've been down this road before where, somebody has leaked something saying it's happening and Nielsen's on her way out, and then suddenly, or somebody's on their way out and suddenly it never happens. So, we've played this dance before. So I'm a little reticent to get involved in, speculating. I hear that there are some changes coming. She's one of the possibilities. But, John Kelly's been leaving for the last 2 years.
Yeah, right. I wanted to get your take on what we know in terms of where things stand in Florida. DeSantis is in. Scott's going to a hand recount. Broward and Palm Beach County still can't get their acts together. And Stacey Abrams is still trying to sort of manufacture something out of whole cloth in Georgia. Just the state of affairs of the administration of elections, particularly in Broward County, as Jeb Bush calls for the removal of Brenda Snipes, and Rick Scott probably does that before he leaves office as governor, whether it's to be a U.S. senator or a private citizen.
Yeah. Ron DeSantis will be, it looks like, officially named governor-elect on the 20th when it's officially certified. And everything's wrapped up and the I's are dotted and T's are crossed. I think this hand recount will continue. The Scott campaign argues that Broward County had their countdown, their done, the machine count, and then purposely missed the deadline by 2 minutes because Scott had picked up 779 votes on Nelson in the Broward County machine vote. And so by missing the deadline, it went back to the election day number and 779 votes less for Scott.
That's voter fraud, isn't it? I mean, that is so wrong on a number of levels.
The whole thing is a mess, and there's all kinds of people arguing, it's Rick Scott's fault that he didn't clean this up. It's not. You're right, Jeb Bush appointed her, but she was also elected. She's a Democrat, and she was nominated and elected, Brenda Snipes was. I think it'll come to an end, and it's hard to see any recount that moves more than 300, 400 votes that's legitimate. Otherwise, there's a systemic error somewhere.
Yeah, better get that squared away. Governor DeSantis better get that squared away before 2020. He is Bret Baier, Fox News anchor, special report, of course, weekdays, 5 p.m. Chicago time. Pick up his new book, 3 Days in Moscow, Ronald Reagan and the Fall of the Soviet Empire. Bret, thanks as always for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend.
You too.
Yep, and he joined us on our Turnkey Pro answer line.
Connect with Dan and Amy using the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Have you ever been concerned that you might have high cholesterol? Did you know that high cholesterol is a key risk factor for heart disease? We are conducting a national research study that will examine a cholesterol-lowering medicine that could become available over the counter. If you are concerned you may have high cholesterol, you may qualify for this study. Take our online assessment at www.heartriskstudy.com to see if you qualify. Again, please visit www.heartriskstudy.com to see if you qualify.
You're always looking for ways to save with your business. What if you could save anywhere from $2,500 to $25,000? That would be great, right? Well, now through November 25th, which is right around the corner, Turnkey IT will add free Office 365 migration with every new contract. That's a huge savings for your business, and you shouldn't wait another minute to contact Turnkey IT. With Turnkey, you have a full-time IT department for a lot less than you think. You'll get world-class help, on-site remote support, monitoring of your network resources, cloud backup. That's so important. Antivirus, and for a limited time, that free Office 365 migration with every new contract. But hurry, offer ends November 25th. From one person to 200 employees, leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on running your business. Visit turnkey.pro today. That's turnkey.pro.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
We're back on the radio and getting bigger than ever.
We're the #1 Lincoln dealer in town.
And Chicagoland's first ever Ford Lincoln Superstore, too.
Folks like our great deals, for sure.
Just yesterday, I got attacked by the paparazzi.
Really?
But I think the groupies are the worst.
Groupies?
All the Highland Park groupies we have.
Sure. Right, Al.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Well, I have groupies.
A rich fantasy life is important.
This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
We're in the holiday season, and everybody's scrambling around to find the right Christmas gift. I have a magical place for the magical gift for somebody on your list. I want you to give a gift for my friends at Roland's Jewelers. I'm a customer. In fact, recently got a watch from Roland's Jeweler that I absolutely love. You know, jewelry is all about trust. Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville is a place you can trust. Who else would offer AM 560 listeners up to $500 in savings on designer brands like Mickey Moto, John Hardy, Roberto Coin? You'll save on luxury watches you love, like Tag Heuer or Michelle and Shinola. Shinola is the kind of watch that I got. As an AM 560 listener, you're going to save up to $500. Roland's Jewelers, downtown Libertyville. You got to make a stop or go online. RolandsJewelers.com, ROLLANDS, RolandsJewelers.com. This holiday season, trust Roland's to make all your gift-giving magical. Roland's Jewelers, a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
Wow, we've been doing a lot of roofs.
And we're ready to do yours. This is Mark Olson.
And Greg Olson from Crumweedy. Okay, say it. If your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
Remember that when you need repair or when you need a new roof.
It's so important to choose your roofing company wisely.
Here's our pitch.
Installation. It's the ball game.
We follow the manufacturer's specifications, so your warranty is totally intact. Most roofing companies don't do that.
When we give you a quote, we give you good, better, and best options. You decide.
And we're not going anywhere.
We're a third-generation family business. 65 years of doing great roofs.
We run the company on good, conservative values.
For any roofing problem or need, call your roofing guys, Crumweedy.
Do we have any special offers? Sure. Just ask. We'll take care of you.
Get all the info at myroofisneedy.com.
When your roof is needy,
call Crumweedy.
630-595-8020. 630-595-8020.
AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. I know you're interested in learning about your newly minted members of Congress here in the Chicago metropolitan region. So I just thought I'd let you know what Sean Casten is reading. Congressman-elect Sean Casten. Hey, listen up, suburbanites. All the way from, Lake County down to Tony Hinsdale. I've always wanted to tie girls up, but I can never convince a woman to let me.
What is this? Is this Dan Savage, his hero?
Sean Casten's reading list. Yeah, Dan Savage, Savage Love column. You can get that in the Chicago Reader.
Yeah, on Thursdays, yes.
Presume that's, apparently you're a fan. Presume this is Sean Casten's reading as well. This is Dan Savage is Sean Casten's philosophical center. He's the person that Sean Casten has elevated Dan Savage. This is the person I look to
Mm-hmm.
for guidance. So he's not the only one. The question, I've always wanted to tie girls up, never convince a woman to let me. Lately, I've been exploring bondage single sites online, but I'm totally new to this. How do I know which ones I can really trust? I mean, that's always the question with bondage single sites.
Right.
There are hundreds of profiles, but it's hard for me, pun intended, to believe I can really just answer an ad, meet a girl in a hotel room, and tie her up. It can't be that simple, can it? That's why Dan Savage is here. Dan Savage, it can be.
Oh.
It can't be, and it isn't, because no woman in her right mind is going to let some man she's never met before tie her up in a hotel room. That's not to say it couldn't happen or hasn't ever happened, but women stupid enough to take that risk are rare, and it should go without saying that any singles websites promise to provide lonely guys with an endless stream of stupid women is a scam. But don't take my word for it. Of course, Dan Savage does his homework relying on the experts. Justin Gorby is a bondage practitioner and educator.
Oh, my gosh.
As well as a professional artist. And this is what your congressman is reading. This is who your congressman looks to for moral guidance. You should know. Corby ties up a lot of women, as you can see on his Instagram account. And he doesn't think you're going to find someone on a bondage single site either. I would recommend this person step away from the dating sites and step into some educational group meetups or munches, as they're called.
Munches?
Apparently.
Not lunches. Munches. Gross.
And so on and so forth. This is what you get from Dan Savage. So I made the note that this is what Sean Casten is reading, and Dan Savage actually responded to me on Twitter.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
God, first Chance the Rapper, and now Dan Savage? I like Chance the Rapper better, but...
Yeah, it's, boy, really rubbing shoulders with intellectual giants I am. Dan Savage responding to me saying what I'm reading by Sean Casten. BDSM is more popular with liberals, but cuckolding is more popular with conservatives. But don't feel bad. I don't discriminate. I cover both topics. Isn't he clever? So then I responded, such deep thinking is clearly why Casten looks to you for moral guidance. Building on your instruction, are you still a proponent of mandatory abortion regardless of political affiliation, as well as the murder of Republicans outside of the womb? And I'm awaiting a response to that.
He hasn't responded. How long ago did you send that?
That was last night. We had that fun little exchange. Maybe he'll include me in his Savage Love column. Wouldn't that be an honor?
That would be. Oh, my gosh. Real quick, Kristen Cinema. You know.
Oh, perfect segue.
Yeah, because she's
she could be in the Savage Love column. She could be in this column.
By the way, my mom, Louise, she's so sweet. She's like, "Do you know that she's not religious?" I'm like, "Really, Mom?" Well, she's already broken a campaign promise. On the campaign trail, she said she would not vote for Chuck Schumer as the Senate Minority Leader. And guess what she did? Guess what?
Guess
what she did? She didn't. Yeah, she's already broken one campaign promise.
Well, I mean, she's being bipartisan.
Remember my tease was, if she's bisexual, will she be bipartisan?
Yeah. I'm a 44-year-old straight woman. I've been married for 14 years to a husband I love very much. We have 2 small children. Early in our courtship, I discovered his interest in bottoming during femdom pegging sessions.
Okay, what in the
world? I don't know what any of that means.
Bipotomy during...
I discovered his interest in bottoming during femdom pegging
bottoming?
sessions.
Is that the tying up thing? Bottoming?
I don't know.
I'm going to have to Google that. Now I'm going to get in trouble, Dan.
Why don't you write into either Sean Casten or Dan Savage? I think they write this column together. Sean congratulations, suburban moms. Sean Casten and Dan Savage. Those should be some really, really interesting town halls.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we'll talk to Eric Eggers, research director at the Government Accountability Institute, about election fraud, timely enough, 7:37.
But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here is Mike Scott.
Dan and Amy, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Gray skies, 30 degrees. At least 7 are dead after snow and storms plugged up air traffic, ground traffic, knocked out power in the eastern third of the country. Fire crews in California continuing to make some progress on the 98,000-acre Woolsey fire overnight. Orange County Fire Authority Chief Brian Fennessy says these modern wildfires are forcing firefighters to change tactics.
I've never seen fires travel as they are today, as fast as they're traveling. We're having to reset, many of us firefighters, how we think about where we position our resources, how soon we evacuate community members.
Officials say that blaze is now about 62% contained. A spokesman for troops at the U.S.-Mexico border say the Army does not view the migrant caravan in Mexico as an enemy force. Army captain telling Reuters yesterday that the military sees them only as migrants moving to the U.S. to seek asylum, and they're only acting in a backup role. Palm Beach County has an incomplete vote count on the big Florida recount. The deadline for statewide machine recounts was 3 yesterday. Election supervisor Susan Booker blamed mechanical failure.
We gave a heroic effort, and given probably 3 or 4 more hours, we might have made the time, but the time timed us out.
The Ohio House has passed a bill that outlaws abortion after 6 weeks of pregnancy. The bill approved on Thursday bars abortion after a fetal heartbeat is detected. Republican Representative Christina Hagen of Marlboro Township, Ohio, spoke in support of that bill.
We have a right and a responsibility as elected leaders to protect these vulnerable children. If a heartbeat is detected, Mr. Speaker, the baby should be protected.
The sponsor of the fetal heartbeat bill, Republican Rod Hood, said it will stop babies from being slaughtered before they're born. State police here in Illinois continuing to investigate after a person was shot by police in Country Club Hills. No one hurt after a group of tourists was rescued from an elevator in the John Hancock Center. 6 were trapped for several hours early this morning after the elevator broke down between the 11th and 12th floors of the high-rise in the 800 block of North Michigan Avenue. Firefighters had to break down a wall to get the people out. A Western Springs man is charged with child pornography distribution. Edward Evans appeared in court yesterday. The Cook County Sheriff's Office says he used a messaging app downloaded to his personal tablet to send explicit images of children twice in the past year. The messages were sent to undercover federal task force officers. There's good news for PACE commuters. The Suburban Transit Agency Board passing their 2019 budget last night without fare hikes. Thursday night football, Seahawks over the Packers, 27-24. It's good news for the Bears, who continue preparation for the Vikings Sunday night at Soldier Field. Blackhawks host the Kings tonight. Bulls are in Milwaukee to play the Bucks. College hoops, DePaul, an overtime win over Penn State, 72-70. The news service of the Positive Coaching Alliance got issues with youth or high school sports. Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit, offers more than 1,000 free online resources for youth and high school sports. Parents, students, and administrators visit PCADevZone.org. And a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains the left's ideal situation.
Remember Nancy Pelosi? Didn't she see that once where we could sit back and write poetry and compose music? This is the ideal that somehow you will be fed, clothed, and housed without actually doing anything. It's character destroying, socialism.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
This is Dan Proft with 60 Seconds of Sanity for Upstream-Ideas.com. What to do about suburban moms? The GOP lost suburban women by 19 points in the midterms. It was well-to-do suburban moms who gave Democrats the House. Should Republicans shame them, as the left does? Should Republicans pander to them with the, "Hi, my name is Dan, I'm a Republican, and I apologize" approach they've been using? How about eliminating their unique designation? Political messaging needs to be succinct with a point. Here's mine for suburban moms. Other than the special role you have in raising your children, you are not special. You're supposed to be a civilizing influence. Instead, you've thrown in with a mob pounding on Tucker Carlson's front door while his wife was locked in her kitchen pantry waiting for police to arrive. I'm not impressed with your BA in ancient civilizations from Vassar. You don't care about good schools or public safety any more than I do. You're not doing any more of the corporal works of mercy than I am. Adhering to Economics 101 axioms doesn't make me a misogynist, and I'm not responsible for the man you chose to marry. Here's my value proposition for you and every other man and woman, whatever their race, religion, age, education, and household income. Separate bathrooms and equal protection under the law. Take it or leave it.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It's actually really been helping my system and my lupus and my gastro problems. So I'm actually very happy with the product.
Acid reflux is pretty much under control. That's why I keep taking it.
I have noticed, I'm sleeping better since I started taking the Balance of Nature and all the other things I'm doing.
I can't believe how wonderful your product is. I listened to you guys on the radio for years and years and years, and I listened to all the testimonials. I go, well, it's probably time to give it a try. And I've been just happy as could be ever since.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Check out the newest podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's Megan Crane. A weekly conversation about top political issues around the midterm elections. Available on Apple Podcasts.
7:36. Let's get an update on the roads now. In the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center, here's Jim Talamonte.
The Indiana Toll Road remains closed westbound from Indianapolis Boulevard to the state line with jackknife semi. Eastbound, the toll road is open. Eden's 19 minutes, Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 27. Kennedy, 40 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 21 from Montrose, 16 on the Express. Eisenhower, 56 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, 57 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 30 minutes, 95 to downtown. Northbound Tri-State bottled up Archer to 47th and from the Reagan tollway to Balmoral. The other tollways are fine. No delays to report on 53 right now. Lakeshore Drive, traffic's heavy northbound, Roosevelt to Jackson. Heavy traffic around downtown now with the Chris Kindle Market opening. The Magnificent Mile Lights Festival. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte. From the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Skies will turn partly sunny. We'll have broken clouds and sunshine probably afternoon time and a high of 41. Snow begins into the early evening, and then overnight we'll have some accumulation by dawn and a low near 30 overnight, and up to an inch of snow in spots tomorrow under cloudy and chilly conditions, high 36. 30 right now. Next news coming up at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Papa Nicholas Coffee. Papa Nicholas, best beans, best roast, best coffee.
You want more than just the headlines? Find out what's going on and what it means with me, Dennis Prager, this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, as we were talking about with Brett Baer at the top of the hour, DeSantis is in. Yes. Scott is going to a hand recount in Florida. And Broward, Palm Beach, and Hillsborough counties didn't comply with the 3 o'clock deadline for the machine recount. In both Palm Beach and, in Broward, it's argued, and in Hillsborough, it was stated straight away. They went with the first canvass, which resulted in Rick Scott getting less votes than he would have gotten had they gone with their second canvass.
Yeah, which put him ahead by 800 more votes.
In Broward,
that is just
and a couple hundred in Hillsborough.
I know, but that is so fraudulent, and it's so wrong. And I just, that woman should be fired, the elections commissioner or whatever.
Dr. BS.
Dr.
Brenda Snipes, you're talking about?
Yeah.
And also, we've still got Stacey Abrams in Georgia trying to make some tortured legal claim.
Of what now?
For some sort of recount to try to get her into a runoff. And then all the way across the country, in Salt Lake City, you got Mia Love, who's trying to stop the count and hold on. Mia Love, who failed to take the Trump embrace.
Right.
She resisted the embrace.
But it's amazing, all this time after the midterm elections, there's still 7 congressional seats that have yet to be determined. One was determined yesterday. Another one went Democratic in Maine.
Another one bites the dust. For more on this topic of ballot counting, pleased to be joined by Eric Eggers, who's the research director at Government Accountability Institute, author of the book Fraud, How the Left Plans to Steal the Next Election. I guess this was a dry run. Eric, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Dan and Amy. It's great to be back.
What marks would you give the election authorities in Broward and Palm Beach counties in particular?
Oof. I don't think we'd highlight them as examples of how we prefer to do things in Florida. In fact, it's been pointed out recently that Dr. Brenda Snipes, I love that Dr. BS, I've not heard that, but Dr. Brenda Snipes touts on the Broward County Elections Supervisor's website that her tenure includes, quote, some successful elections, end quote.
Does it really say that? That's awesome.
So,
oh my gosh.
So this is not going to be one of them. But one of the questions I've gotten a lot of, and I'm sure you guys have wondered, because as you know, in Broward County, there's been so many problems in this election cycle, and unfortunately, that's nothing new. In fact, in my book, I have an entire section about Brenda Snipes, and the book came out this summer. So, we've known about Brenda Snipes and the problems that her office has had, including admitting to allowing illegal immigrants and felons to vote, illegally opening ballots, illegally destroying ballots. Right? You name it with ballots, she's done it. So, but what's crazy about it is that we go, well, how come she stayed in office? How come the Republican governor, Rick Scott, hasn't removed her? And I would say there's kind of two reasons, right? One is politically correct. If you're running for office statewide as a white male, you probably don't want the charges that come with being perceived to be antagonistic or unfair if you're removing an African-American woman, right? The charges of racism go hand in hand with the incompetence that her office has demonstrated. And so I think it was a conscious choice by Rick Scott to avoid that. And that's one of the reasons why she stayed in office. But there's a second piece, and this is really key.
What?
Remember, so like when they go to these hand recounts now, specifically in the Senate race with Governor Scott and Phil Nelson, Broward County featured over 20,000 of the 90,000 undervotes, which means basically ballots in which that race wasn't marked, but all the other races were marked. And the reason for those undervotes in Broward County specifically is because the way the ballot was designed, the Senate race was the first race listed on the ballot. It was in the left-hand column. It was directly underneath a whole section of instructions. And so people basically think that 20,000 voters didn't vote for Senate because they just thought that box was still part of the instruction. So, I mean, you could make a very compelling argument, and I think it's correct, that in partly because of Brenda Snipes' incompetence, Rick Scott's going to win the Senate seat. So that's maybe another reason why. Like, look, if you want to have an incompetent supervisor election as a Republican, it's maybe not the worst thing in the world to have an incompetent supervisor election in a Democratic-rich county.
Well, what about this issue with that's being litigated in court? A federal judge ruling against Scott on Thursday by mandating that voters whose ballots were rejected because of signature mismatches must be given the chance to verify their ballots.
Yeah, they've extended the deadline for being able
Saturday,
to secure, right, these issues. But what's I think really compelling is that it's been reported now that there's been an organized effort. I mean, the subtitle of my book, which people push back on, like how the left plans to steal the next election. Well, how can you prove that? Is it really this organized effort? Well, in Florida, we are now seeing proof of an organized effort by the Florida Democratic Party. They've admitted to having this coordinated plan to alter the document that they've sent out, and they've sent out documents with extended deadlines that allowing people to fix these issues with their ballots and send them back. So, so that's a separate issue than what the court has ruled on. Attorneys for the Scott campaign and connected to the Republican Party in Florida, they're quite confident that the ruling by the Judge Mark Walker will be overturned or at least stayed. So I don't think that they're overly concerned about that. But the reality is that however many ballots there are to have these signature mismatch issues corrected, we don't believe that will be statistically significant. But it raises an interesting point, because if you're filling out an absentee ballot, your signature is basically the only form of verification anyone has to make sure that the person filling out the absentee ballot is actually the voter on the voter rolls, because you don't have to show ID when you send in an absentee ballot. And, in fact, absentee ballots, I think, are universally recognized as the most easily manipulated form of voting, or the form of voting that's the most susceptible to fraud. So, while I think we should all agree that anybody who actually cast their ballot should have a legitimate ballot should be counted, but signature mismatches are one of the few ways we can actually tell if the ballot was fraudulently cast. So it's an interesting dilemma.
And they're going to be done with that by Sunday, you said?
Well, the hope is, to have they have until Sunday. I believe that was the extended deadline to have it in. But look, Rick Scott is still holding on to this 12,000 vote lead. It's virtually statistically impossible for this margin of victory to change that much under a hand recount. I mean, as you know, during the machine recount, Andrew Gillum, who was the Democratic challenger for governor here, he actually gained a grand total of 1 vote. Oh. And in the machine recount for Rick Scott, I believe his vote tally actually increased by 845 votes statewide. So, we're talking about things on the margins now, and it's what you got is you got a guy who's been in the Senate, and Bill Nelson, for a long time, was just grasping at any legal straw to be able to stay in power. And by the way, they've sort of unveiled themselves as being intellectually dishonest, because while Nelson's lawyers have sued against Republican Bay County, that's in the Panhandle of Panama City where the hurricane came in, because their supervisor of elections allowed some ballots to be emailed, which is against the law, and I think they were correct in challenging those ballots. But in the Broward County and the Palm Beach County, they're fine with the law being violated because those are more favorable for Democrats. So, if there's one thing we haven't seen a lot of, it's ideological or intellectual consistency.
Well, so here's the thing. I mean, so Scott will win. DeSantis is already in. But this is really now a conversation prospective to 2020. Particularly with now ex-offenders being re-enfranchised en masse, and a 250,000 people from Puerto Rico that are voting in Florida. I mean, it just changes the dynamics of the electorate. That's just a reality, and so it makes these antics going on in Broward and Palm Beach County that much more problematic for the President of the United States as he seeks re-election. What could be a very close election again, which could come down to Florida again. We've seen this before, and to have another presidential election that's potentially thrown into, weeks of machinations and litigation after Election Day 2020 would be really problematic and frustrating and delegitimizing because of what the country is witnessing yet again in Florida this cycle. So what should Republicans do in response to what they've seen from these counties?
Yeah, it's a great question. The first thing is I wouldn't be surprised if new Governor Ron DeSantis, shortly after he's inaugurated, removes Brenda Snipes from office and possibly a few other officials as well. Just because, this is unacceptable. She said, she's been elected, but, even former Governor Jeb Bush, who's the one that actually appointed Brenda Snipes, has said, look, it's time for her to go. So I don't believe she'll be in office when 2020 rolls around.
And she doesn't deserve to.
The next person. What's that?
I said, and she doesn't deserve to. She said that she had some successful elections. That's hysterical.
Several, not all, but several. That's something. Several.
So I don't think she'll be there. That's not to say that the person that replaces her will be any better, because remember, the reason why Jeb Bush appointed her back in 2003 is because the person that she replaced was actually just as bad. The lady that she replaced, a lady named Miriam Oliphant, was escorted out of her office. And when they did that, they found stacks of uncounted ballots in her desk.
Oh my God!
Are those stacked of uncounted ballots in her desk from 2001 going to be counted in this election?
Yeah, that remains to be seen. That may be the current challenge by the Nelson attorney. So, I think, but the really key thing, I think, is this, and there's been several elections recently that have highlighted this. I mean, to me, the point is, hey, if we're this bad in these key counties at counting, how bad do you think we've been at preventing the legal ballots from being cast? I mean, in Miami-Dade, we know that they had at least 108 people attempt to vote twice in the same election. We know that non-citizens voted in Palm Beach County, by the way. Attorneys for Bill Nelson and Andrew Gillum objected to those ballots not being counted, which I thought was somewhat noteworthy. We know that there are coordinated efforts to get as many people to the polls as possible, regardless of the legality of those votes. And so I think the key is that for the next 2 years, Republicans need to laser focus on the voter roll. They've got to make sure, especially in the 30 days leading up to the election, because it's been suggested, and I've seen some evidence, I think, to support this, that the major loophole is that the voter registration drives right up until the deadline is the window by which you can get people that shouldn't be on the voter rolls registered. And then there's actually been court rulings in other races that basically say, look, once you're on the voter rolls, you're essentially a legal voter, whether you should be or not. And actually, lawyers for Bill Nelson have made a similar argument. They basically argued that non-citizens should be allowed to vote. So
right. To your point, when you're on the voter rolls, the presumption is in your favor, and it's that much more complicated in states like Illinois, where you have same-day voter registration.
No, exactly right. And when I spoke in Chicago to the Heartland Institute a few months ago, I met a couple of state representatives who I think have been working very diligently on this issue. And I know you guys have the database that does the verification, but to your point, it can't operate in real time. And so, I think that's the next step is how do we make sure that the people that are registering to vote, A, are legal citizens, right? And B, or legal voters rather, and then B, are supposed to be here. Who's watching? Because one of the most troubling things that I realized in conducting the research for the book is no one really is.
He is Eric Eggers, research director at the Government Accountability Institute. The book, Fraud, How the Left Plans to Steal the Next Election. Eric, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Hear about the big stories of the day, then talk about them right here on Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
The following is a paid announcement.
Now, Geiger Wealth brings you Retire with Confidence.
Thanks for joining us today, where once a week we get together to talk about retirement planning. Bill Geiger, welcome. I know that your firm focuses on helping couples in their late 50s to early 60s retire with confidence. So, Bill, what is the biggest challenge that you see successful couples face when planning for retirement?
Mike, I sat down with a couple yesterday morning and I asked them that specific question. What do you feel your biggest challenge is getting ready for retirement? And in a heartbeat, the wife said to me, how am I going to pay my bills every month? My husband's going to stop working at some point. His paycheck's going to be gone. How do we pay our bills for the rest of our lives? And it's a long time. We could be in retirement 20, 25, or 30 years. And Mike, when you think about it, 20, 25 to 30 years without a paycheck is kind of like being unemployed. And folks, that's the really big deal in retirement. Where do you get the income from to supplement your Social Security? So you have the confidence that you're going to be able to pay your bills each month, knowing how you're going to keep up your lifestyle, knowing how you're going to feel comfortable and you can do fun things like go on trips and vacations and so on.
For 20 to 30 years, the rest of your life, and maybe leave a little bit for your family too. So, Bill, how do we create this income?
Mike, we find when we look at couples' portfolios, most people have way too much at risk, way too much on the growth side. You simply take some of that growth portfolio, and Mike, we do this all the time. You take part of the growth portfolio and you create an income strategy with it. And that income strategy is designed to create dependable, sustainable income that couples can count on for the rest of their life. Mike, let's do something special for the next 5 callers who call in who have at least $500,000 in their portfolio. We're going to sit down with them personally on a complimentary basis and help them put together a full-blown plan for their retirement, a plan for how they're going to create dependable, sustainable income that they can count on for the rest of their lives and how they can retire with confidence.
Bill, this is a fantastic opportunity because, folks, nothing can be more frustrating than working hard your entire life, saving as much as possible for retirement, then having no idea how you're going to make your life savings last 20 to 30 years or more. Bill and his team at Geiger Wealth can help. They're going to sit down with you personally to create a full-blown plan for your retirement. Folks, this is up to a $3,000 value. It's complimentary for the next 5 couples who have at least $500,000 saved for retirement. Call 800-681-2498. Again, that's 800-681-2498. Together with you, Bill and his team are going to sit down and translate the complex financial planning process into easy-to-understand steps with a roadmap to help you get to where you need to be. Call Geiger Wealth right now for your complimentary, personalized, full-blown retirement plan. 800-681-2498. That's 800-681-2498.
Geiger Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor. Insurance offered through DeBlanco, Inc.
Did you know that studies have shown that we need over 10 servings of fruits and veggies every single day? If you're like me, it's hard to find the time and money to prepare and eat all of those fruits and vegetables. Who can do that?
Yet we know that proper nutrition can prevent health problems, give us energy, and help us heal faster. Balance of Nature has spent over 20 years researching and delivering solutions to this problem. We can ensure that you consume over 30 different fruits and veggies every single day. Our capsules are filled with 100% real whole foods. There isn't a single thing added to Balance of Nature products. They're pure. We spent an incredible amount of time on the quality of our products. We do this for you. We do it for our own families. Give yourself a break and give your body what it needs. Call now to receive 35% off your first Balance of Nature order. Call 1-800-2468-751 or go online to balanceofnature.com. Use promo code CHICAGO.
Highland Park Ford Lincoln's in the house. Here's Alan Marty.
For 30 years, we've been making people happy with incredible deals and service.
We're the best Ford Lincoln dealers in town.
Because making people happy makes us happy.
No doubt. This is one happy place.
Heck, we just break into dance all the time.
We don't break into dance at the dealership.
Sure we do.
No, we really don't.
We could. Come on, Marty, dance with me.
The Highland Park Ford Lincoln Superstore. Call 1-800-984-9000 or go to alanmarty.com.
Admit it.
Okay, you're a lovely dancer.
Thank you. This is Alan Marty. Deal with us.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food. Dinovite is nutrition.
Dinovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
If I were a rich man.
WWTD. What would Tevye do? You can't even enjoy a performance of Fiddler on the Roof these days. You can't even put yourself in Anatevka, a Jewish shtetl in Ukraine. You're a milkman. Baltimore performance of Fiddler on the Roof interrupted, I guess, during intermission.
Yeah, it was at halftime. Oh, no, you guys called that intermission.
Yeah, oh, come on.
Can I get
Patron
a
of the arts, you are.
No, I know what intermission is.
Yeah. Okay.
No, I do. I was a thespian once.
I believe you were a humma?
A thespian.
Yes.
In the arts. Yes.
Somebody stands up and starts yelling, Heil Hitler, Heil Trump. One sports writer for the Baltimore Sun was there. He said,
he knows about halftime.
People started running. I'll be honest, I was waiting to hear a gunshot. I thought, here we go.
Oh.
Yeah.
And it turns out it's just some crazy.
Chris Hayes, MSNBC, Rachel Maddow impersonator.
Oh, he's the one who did it? No.
I swear it's the strangest thing the way Nazis and racists and bigots of all stripes invoke the name of the president as an expression of their evil. I'm kidding. It's not strange. By the way, we don't know if this person was doing it from the left to mock Trump or if it was some sort of anti-Semitic white nationalist who I doubt would be there to see Fiddler on the Roof. But okay, maybe. This is the same Chris Hayes who responsibly suggested that President Trump had ordered the murder of Jamal Khashoggi. I mean, seriously, these people. And so this is what happens. You can't even enjoy Fiddler on the Roof, which is I loved at the Lyric when I saw it there.
You're gonna take me next time?
So if I'm at the Lyric or Shakespeare, keep your politics away from me.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Why Chicago lost Amazon HQ2 at 8:08.
But first, here's Mike Scott.
A person shot by police in Country Club Hills. Fireworks set off twice at a Chicago high school. WINT Chicago News Time, 8 o'clock.
Time to count even more ballots in Florida.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
Ballot boxes have arrived, so please take your seats as the envelopes are being brought to the table.
That's at the Broward County Elections Office, where they'll be counting thousands of ballots the machine recount could not. Fox's Evan Brown is there live.
Yeah, Dave, the eyes are on Broward County, Florida once again, as it was revealed yesterday after finishing the machine recount that their totals were rejected by the state because they filed them just a couple of minutes late. The recount total in Broward would have showed an increase of 700 or so votes for Republican Rick Scott in the U.S. Senate race. Republicans are alleging that Broward election supervisor Brenda Snipes did it on purpose. Snipes denies this. Now the hand recount is underway and is a much busier scenario with lots of people poring over individual paper ballots, Dave.
Evan in California, another Republican House seat flipped blue. The EP called the race for Democrat Katie Porter, defeating GOP Congresswoman Mimi Walters by 6,200 votes. 6 other House races remain unresolved. Democrats could end up with a 234 to 201 House majority in the next Congress. Still trying to locate the missing in wildfire-charred Northern California. 631 unaccounted for, and the number killed is up to 63. 9,500 homes burned down.
I had government housing, and I'm hoping that the government replaces so that we can live back up there. It was a beautiful place to live.
3 others died in the fire near Malibu. The Justice Department says it was an filing error, naming Julian Assange twice in an unrelated August court filing. Assange, infamous for document dumps, published Clinton campaign emails back in 2016, and this leads to speculation he may face criminal charges in the U.S. Assange remains holed up in Ecuador's embassy in London. He's been there for years to avoid arrest. This is Fox News.
Skies are gray, 34 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560. The Answer, good morning. I'm Mike Scott. State police investigating after a person was shot by police in Country Club Hills. The incident happened last night near a Bank of America branch on West 167th. Police tell us the incident began as a robbery and a crash involving a police vehicle. Parents are demanding answers after fireworks were set off twice at Morgan Park High School this week.
We have kids that's coming to school to get an education. They cannot get an education if you got these other ones out here just trying to create havoc.
A group of parents expressing concerns with a school principal during a meeting last night. Licensed practical nurses at the University of Illinois hospital and clinics are on strike, walking off the job over job protection and fair wages. Target sticking with its decision to shut down 2 stores on Chicago's South Side. Executives with the Minneapolis-based retailer confirming they were shutting down locations in the Chatham and Morgan Park neighborhoods in spite of efforts to keep them open by Representative Bobby Rush. Chicago sports. Packers fell to Seattle in Thursday night football 27-24. That keeps the road wide open for the Bears in the NFC Central. They take on the Vikings Sunday night at Soldier Field. Blackhawks host the Kings tonight. Bulls are in Milwaukee. DePaul, a college basketball winner over Penn State. 8:03, it's time for the AM 560 Business Beat. Let's get the latest from the Fox Business Network's Ginny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, futures are pointing to a weaker open on Wall Street after chip maker NVIDIA reported a disappointing summer quarter. Tesla is planning to make 7,000 Model 3 cars a week by the end of November. Electrek says the goal is outlined in an internal email from CEO Elon Musk. And Tesla is cutting prices on its residential solar systems by as much as 25%. Reuters says Tesla is hoping to boost sales. Sears Holdings has received the okay to sell its best-performing stores. It's a plan to keep the company from liquidating. It must find a lead bidder by the middle of December. If there is more than one qualifying buyer, there will be an auction in mid-January. The Dow added 208 yesterday, the Nasdaq was up 122, and the S&P was up 28. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Ginny Cosola.
8:04, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Finally, all the shouting is over. We now have winners and losers. This election season seemed to be more difficult, contentious, and even painful than ever before. For all you winners, congratulations. For all you losers, you can always try again. For the American people, time to do as we always do. Come together and heal. Hey, life will go on. America is still the greatest, best hope for the world. If you don't believe it, just stick with us. We'll get you through. AM 560, The Answer.
Have you ever been concerned that you might have high cholesterol? Did you know that high cholesterol is a key risk factor for heart disease? We are conducting a national research study that will examine a cholesterol-lowering medicine that could become available over the counter. If you are concerned you may have high cholesterol, you may qualify for this study. Take our online assessment at www.heartriskstudy.com to see if you qualify. Again, please visit www.heartriskstudy.com to see if you qualify.
Are you a responsible person who finds yourself growing deeper in credit card debt? Then get ready for a toll-free number that will put you on a path to financial recovery. Trinity Debt Management will consolidate your accounts and work with your creditors. You'll save thousands and become debt-free for keeps. If your debt has you down, we should talk. Call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976. 1-800-990-6976.
It's the holiday sales event at Ford. It's a big deal, and we're busy making preparations to get you the best deals of the year. Because unlike Santa's presents, ours don't just magically appear. At Ford, ours are built in real factories, where pickup trucks come with best-in-class towing and payload, where SUVs are built with available features like terrain management and driver assist technologies, and where every bolt, stitch, and line of code is tested and tested again. But you don't have to write Santa a letter to get these presents. Naughty or nice, just come see your Ford dealer during our holiday sales event for our best offers of the year. Ford, built for the holidays. Built Ford proud.
Best-in-class towing and payload when properly configured. Classes light-duty pickups under 8,500 pounds GVWR based on Ford segmentation.
8:07. Let's get an update on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center. The very latest with Jim Talamonte.
Indiana Toll Road westbound. It's open again, but there are delays from the West Point Toll Plaza to Indianapolis Boulevard. The right lane is blocked after there was a jackknife semi. The Edens runs 19 minutes Lake Cook to Montrose, outbound 32. Out to Kennedy, delays are from Irving Park to Randolph. 43 minutes O'Hare to downtown. 33 from Montrose, 34 in the Express. Outbound 35 minutes downtown to O'Hare. About Eisenhower, 56 minutes, 390 to downtown. 40 minutes from Manheim, outbound 43 minutes to 390. Stevenson, an hour and 4 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan, 34 minutes, 95 to downtown. Southbound Tri-State heavy from the Adams Tollway to Bensonville Bridge. Northbound 83rd to 31st after the Reagan Tollway to Balmoral. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1-hour heating and air conditioning weather center and our meteorologist Brian May.
Some sunshine today with a high of 42. Cloudy tonight, a bit of snow toward dawn, little or no accumulation, low 30. Cloudy and chilly tomorrow, a little snow accumulating according to an inch, high 36. I'm Brian May on AM 560, The Answer.
Temperatures going up a bit, 34 now at O'Hare. Next news at 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Watch today's show live right now on the Income Store live video stream at 560theanswer.com.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Why Chicago lost Amazon HQ2?
Yeah, we're still licking our wounds, right? No, I don't. Did we ever really expect that we would get it?
Nobody who's rational did.
Yeah, only irrational people thought that we would get it. But yeah, what was the real reason why?
Well, there's all the obvious reasons that people have suggested and predicted would be the reasons why Amazon would pass over Chicago. But there's this other fundamental problem in Chicago that my friend and yours, Jeff Carter, gets to in his blog, pointsandfigures.com. This is when I say you should read this piece, when I tell you all read a piece, just don't give me a lot of flack. Just go do it.
Okay.
Make yourself a better person.
So you're giving us a homework assignment for the weekend.
Why did Chicago lose Amazon? Pointsandfigures.com. Read the piece. Here's the upshot. Jeff Carter, who one of the founders of Hyde Park Angels, so markets guy. Chicago is a great city. It's beautiful. Quality of life is wonderful. It has great restaurants. It has really great people with Midwestern values that are loyal. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that anymore, but I'll give him his time. But it's not New York City. It's also not like San Francisco. Chicago is a closed network. Look at the 600-member committee that was tasked with bringing Amazon here. See anyone that isn't connected to anyone? See any looseness around it? It's the same names in Chicago over and over again. The same people, and they all get connected back to the Democrat political machine, which is suffocating growth in Illinois and the city of Chicago. Great gains are not planned or linear. They jump all graphical lines. They're often accidents. That doesn't happen in tightly controlled networks. Closed networks like Chicago, and Chicago has always been a closed network since its inception back in 1830. Hasn't changed. He recommends the book City of the Century. I would also recommend The Outfit by Gus Russo, if you want to understand it. The only places that were open, writes Carter, were the trading floors. That brought new blood to the city. The floors were merit-based, and it was about, can you do this, can you survive? And Jeff was on those floors. If you knew the speaker or mayor, you might have gotten a wink once in a while, but you had to perform. Chicago isn't going to change because it's too fearful for the power drivers in the network to have a lot of new people that will make outcomes more random. He recounts this time he was inviting to a meeting to talk about TIFs by some Chicago politico. We're talking about tax increment financing districts and what to do about them. I didn't know a lot about the TIF, so I listened and asked a lot of questions. At the end of the meeting, they asked me what I thought. I said, it seems to me these TIFs give a lot of power to one person, the alderman. Why not just take all that power away, all that application process and paperwork away, and simply lower the taxes across the entire district for businesses that decide to locate and employ people there? I wasn't invited back because an idea like that is too scary to people in a closed network that want to control things. They don't want nobody sent. I think Amazon saw that on their visits here. If you spend enough time here, you get a sense of that. He said, even though the tech scene in Chicago is better than it was a decade ago, he added, our tech scene can be awfully closed-minded and tough to navigate from the outside. It's a closed network. When politicians are giving away awards at award ceremonies, you have a problem. We lose entrepreneurs to the coast because of this attitude. Outlier ideas are very unsettling, but those are the ones that can become the blowout ideas. Uber should have been started in Chicago, but I bet if the Uber guy tried to raise a seed around here, people would have looked at him like he had four eyes. Black car service on your phone? Random? Come on. The other reason we lose entrepreneurs is a lack of capital. And one of the reasons there's a lack of capital is because of the closed network. Self-propagating. It's tough to raise capital if you are the nobody that nobody sent.
Ooh.
Closed network. It's tough to raise capital or do anything else. Obviously, you can apply this to the political arena. If you are the nobody sent. Chicago is dying under the weight of this closed network, is the point, particularly in competition with cities, even if they have Democrat socialist mayors that are nonetheless more open networks, that are nonetheless more open to the nobody sent when it comes to certain business sectors like tech. But that's not the case in Chicago because everything is government-centric here. The 600 people on the committee to bring Amazon try and find somebody who isn't connected to somebody else. Why do we get the same people? Why is there another Daley running for mayor? Why is, do we trade out one ensconced billionaire for another for governor?
Why do we have two people running for mayor who already have political positions?
And are wholly owned subsidiaries of one of the, of one or another of the potentates at the top of the food chain here. Madigan in the case of Mendoza, the unions, public sector unions in the case of Preckwinkle. Closed network. Why not devolve power? I mean, the Jeff Carter example here. Hey, I got an idea about TIFs. Why put this feudal lord in charge of it? Why not just lower taxes across the board for a particular district? How naive was poor Jeff. How naive. This isn't about fair play. It's not about innovation. It's not about attracting talent. It's about the people in charge staying in charge at all costs because they will always be fine by living parasitically off you. The 600 and their circles survive at your expense, not in spite of the policies they're promoting or tolerating, literally at your expense. You, me, Amy, we are the hosts. They, the parasites, the closed network. And they swarm anything that's new or outside. It's such an important insight that Jeff Carter gets to here. And the reason I like it so much is because of where it's coming from. It's coming from a smart guy in financial services who was in the pits, who was somebody who evaluated through Hyde Park Angels good ideas from nobody sent to fund them. He's a tech entrepreneur. He's saying the same thing about the most dynamic sectors in our country as it pertains to Chicago, as we say on this show about the least dynamic sector in the country, politics, as it pertains to Chicago. And I go back again to reference this other friend of mine who's a regional sales guy. He reps manufacturing companies for about 15 states, including Illinois. And the observation that he made about Illinois, so per Jeff's point about, I think Amazon saw what he was talking about on their visits here. If you spend enough time here, you get a sense of it. The sales rep saying, people here in all these meetings and lunches and drinks I have, talking to different clients or potential, people here talk about politics more than the people talk about politics in all of my other states combined. Right. Because politics is central here, because it's a closed network, because it is about the political clout you have, even if you're not in politics, formally. Why did Chicago lose Amazon? Jeff Carter's piece at pointsandfigures.com. Must read if you want to understand what's going on in every space in this state. Every space. Sean in Elmwood Park. Oh, sorry. Sean.
Are you there?
Yeah, go ahead, Sean.
Hello. I
Hi,
love this
Sean.
article. How are you, sexy? I love this article. But
Thank
here's
you.
the thing.
Oh, he's talking to you.
No, he's talking to you.
Here's the thing. Mafias cannot exist without complacent victims and corrupt opponents. You're absolutely right. The Democrat Party is an organized mafia, plain and simple, all to see. And yet, what do the voters do? When given the chance, they step and they fetch, and they vote for the same people they're told to do. And what does the opposition do? Nothing, but ask to be cut in.
Well,
the opposition
wait a
is
second.
just as bad.
Well, this is what you have to understand. There is no opposition. It's just a smaller part of the closed network. And this is why I like the phrase that Carter uses, closed network. So stop thinking about Republican, Democrat, even my appellation of Mott's, more of the same. It's more of the same, but it's more why? Closed network. And so at the corner of that closed network are a handful of Republicans that are allowed in that network to give the appearance that there's a two-party system and that there's actual electoral competition going on, just as you give the appearance of competition as opposed to preordination in so many other private sectors in the city and the state. The closed network is the key to understand.
Until this last election, I had hope. I had hope because of our radio station and a few others out there. Until this last election. This last election is the death nail. And the fact that there is even a hope for investigation. Where are the investigators? And what did you do? You put Kwame Raoul in charge. I mean, you can't. This is a crime novel. It's not a state.
Thanks, Sean. Dan and Wilmette.
Hey, how you doing? I just want you to know I had 4 sons grow up in this state, and 2 of them ended up in California, extremely successful. One's the treasurer of a Fortune 500 company. Couldn't do it in this state. Couldn't do it. And new ideas and work and all that kind of stuff is no good unless you get the nod from the big boys.
Thanks for the call, Dan.
Sad.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that's so important about this piece is don't think about it just in the context of politics. I mean, that cannot be emphasized more. Rick on the South Side.
My situation is I became a Republican because I saw the lifestyle, the ideology, the worldviews of conservatives as a much more worthwhile lifestyle to live. My being is better as a Republican. Why is it that the Republican Party in this state, in Illinois, can't convince people that being a Republican and a conservative doesn't mean necessarily you're anti-human, doesn't mean you're a lefty, doesn't mean you're this or that. It means you're a person that has limits, that understands being mature, understands being sensible. That's what I think of the Republican Party. Why doesn't the Republican Party sell its brand better in the state of Illinois?
Rick, thanks for the call, Rick. Because that's not the point. Let me sum up this last election cycle for you and the last 25 years in one sentence. Jim Edgar was J.B. Pritzker's debate prep partner, and his lieutenant governor endorsed Sean Casten for Congress. There you go. I just summed up the last 2.5 decades of Republican Party politics for you. Closed network. You just had Bill Brady and Jim Durkin re-elected as their caucus leaders. They have the smallest caucuses since, in Illinois history, because you have to go back to 1840 for Democrats to have more members in the General Assembly than they do now, and that was before the Republican Party existed. It was Democrats and Whigs. Okay? And reelected in the caucuses without opposition. Caucuses that could meet in telephone booths per their size. It doesn't matter. Performance doesn't matter. Ideology doesn't matter. They're not trying to market. They're just trying to keep their little posts in the closed network. That's what this is about. And so outsiders, Jeannie Ives, it's all hands on deck to stop Jeannie Ives because she could disrupt the closed network. Think about it. Kevin in Libertyville.
Good morning, Dan, Amy. Listen, that article is really informative and shines a light on the closed network, that you're talking about. But Amazon, their HQ2 was never going to come to Chicago. It was all a ploy. If you understand how these major merchandisers work now, they need legislatures on their side. Sears did not go out of business because they sold an inferior product. Sears went out of business because their marketing, their strategy became extinct. Amazon knows this, that at some point somebody's going to come up with a better idea and a better way to merchandise and manufacture and distribute a product. It's just the natural way of things. And the one true thing to prevent you from becoming the next Sears or Montgomery Ward or whatever is to have the legislatures in your pocket. The only way you can do that is to be very close to them in Washington. Go figure, that's where they're locating their second headquarters. They have to get away from Seattle. Chicago or any of these other cities was never a viable option for them, but they used it very successfully. Smart businesses do, to get great discounts and rewards from their eventual suitor. But the story is still good to read.
There's thanks for the call, Kevin. I mean, there's definitely an aspect to that, both Virginia, D.C. Metro, as well as New York. I mean, the arguments have made in New York, they essentially will have access to 6 senators, right, because of the New York metropolitan area, in addition to D.C. So it's definitely about being on the eastern seaboard at the seats of power and political power as well. There's no doubt that's a calculation. That doesn't undermine Jeff Carter's argument in pointsandfigures.com, and I know you're not suggesting it does. So, but that's the play, and it's also, though, an example of what corporate titans have done in Chicago to close the network. It's just about government as a shield or a sword, and that's a terrible way to run a city and a state, as Chicago and Illinois have proven, haven't they?
Listen to podcasts of Dan and Amy from the AM 560 mobile app. Download it today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
Famous Winston Churchill quotes, presented by Automated Systems.
In reference to the Nazis, Winston Churchill stated, "An appeaser is one who feeds a crocodile hoping it will eat him last." That wisdom certainly proved true.
It's important we support companies that share our conservative values. If you are a manufacturer, I encourage you to call my friend Laz Kulchar from Automated Systems. As a software and systems integration company, Automated Systems creates custom solutions to make your production lines, facilities, and plants run more efficiently. Imagine less downtime, more speed, and fewer rejects. It doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 or a startup, Automated Systems delivers solutions for your toughest automation challenges. For information, I encourage you, man, to talk to Laz at Automated Systems. Call 844-HIRE-ASI or visit AutomatedSYS.com. That's 844-HIRE-ASI.
If you're self-employed and purchase your own health insurance, I have some good news. From now until December 15th, you cannot be denied coverage based on a pre-existing condition, and depending on your income, you may find a more affordable plan. And this year, thanks to President Trump, if you're healthy and your income is too high to qualify for a subsidy, there is a new and competitive non-Obamacare marketplace where premiums are much lower and the PPO networks include access to our teaching hospitals in Chicago. Employers who provide small group coverage also have new options, and so do seniors looking for Medicare supplement coverage. Call me. I can help.
If you're tired of calling a bureaucrat at an 800 number to help you navigate Obamacare, then you need a local expert on your side. Your own health insurance mentor. See Stephen Tucker from healthinsurancementors.com is someone I know and trust. He's a 20-year licensed broker who's been educating our listeners for 7 years. Steve, how can our listeners get in touch with you?
Thanks, Dan. They can visit healthinsurancementors.com or call me directly at 630-674-1551.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chris Veldman of ServiceMaster DSI, the largest ServiceMaster franchise in the United States and a customer of Signature Bank. In our business, we respond to disaster, and we never know when disaster will strike, whether it's flooding in Louisiana or a house fire in Chicago. Not all banks understand that need for flexibility, but Signature Bank does. That's why we consider them so much more than a bank. They have been our business partner since 2006, when their 3 co-founders, Mick, Kevin, and Brian, started the bank. Signature Bank is a key part of our growth strategy at ServiceMaster DSI.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I have a bad sciatic nerve, and ever since I started taking it, it has not flared up or acted up.
About 4 years ago, I got a virus, pretty severe virus, and it triggered something called
postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. It's just a nervous system disorder, and it's been a struggle the past 4 years. And after about 4 or 5 months of doing this, my dad said, listen, you need to try this. And I finally said, okay. So I've already noticed more energy and more clarity, and because I've had brain fog with this really bad, and it has helped with that, I've already noticed.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
AM 560, The Answer.
I do want to thank Joe at the Blue Cow Polish Deli.
At the Blue Cow Polish Deli?
Yeah, up on Algonquin Road in Lake in the Hills. Hosted a dinner last night that Tom Sedeka from Precision Payroll put together.
Oh,
doing
nice.
a little election postmortem with some of our friends and advertisers from AM 560. And it was great fun and great food.
Really?
Great food at Blue Cow Polish Deli.
How many people?
There it is.
How many people showed up?
It was an intimate gathering of like 15 people.
What'd you have to eat?
Pierogi,
pierogi,
pork tenderloin, some beef, kielbasa.
Well, when did you stop eating at any point in time, or are you still eating?
I almost fell asleep on the drive home. That's how much I ate.
Food coma. It's the worst. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
If the left has only hate to offer, what should conservatives offer in response? We will put that question to the great author and intellect Shelby Steele at 8:38.
But first, into the newsroom we go. Here's Mike Scott.
34 in gray skies. Authorities this morning working on Northern California's deadly campfires. Say more than 630 remain missing. That's a huge jump over 130 last week.
It is again my very sad duty to report that we have located 7 additional human remains.
The increase is based on the number of people who called 911 when the fire started. Those bodies that the searchers found were mostly in Paradise, California. The Trump administration taking a look at the growing problem of sexual misconduct by air travelers. Transportation Secretary Elaine Chao yesterday created the National In-Flight Sexual Misconduct Task Force. The U.S. is imposing sanctions against 17 Saudis for their alleged role in the killing of Washington Post guest columnist Jamal Khashoggi. Saudi Minister of Foreign Affairs is continuing to push the theory that the Crown Prince had nothing to do with the murder.
I believe that any rational thinking person will recognize that mistakes happen.
A statement from the Treasury Department says the Saudis were part of that planning and execution of Khashoggi. State police are investigating after a person was shot by in Country Club Hills by police there. The incident happening near a Bank of America branch on West 167th. No one hurt after a group of tourists was rescued from an elevator trapped in the John Hancock Center on Michigan Avenue. 6 were trapped for several hours early this morning after an elevator stopped moving, broke down between the 11th and 12th floors. Firefighters had to break a wall to get everyone out. The Blackhawks will be honoring cancer survivor Eddie Olczyk this weekend. Former player and current announcer will take the ice for one more shift. Before Sunday night's game against the Wild at the UC, Hawk players will wear lavender jerseys during warm-ups. They will be autographed and auctioned to raise money for local cancer-related organizations. Olczyk was diagnosed with stage 3 colon cancer last year, declared cancer-free in March. Thursday night football, Seahawks over the Packers, doing the Bears a favor with a 27-24 win. Blackhawks host the Kings tonight. The Bulls are in Milwaukee. The news, a service of Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. There's nothing like Eggland's Best eggs. More of the farm, fresh taste you love. Superior nutrition, too. For your family, only the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs. 8:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains the left's ideal situation.
Remember Nancy Pelosi? Didn't she see that once where we could sit back and write poetry and compose music? This is the ideal that somehow you will be fed, clothed, and housed without actually doing anything. It's character destroying socialism.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours right into your basement. This is Gus from Chicagoland Waterproofing. My mission is to identify why your home is taking on water and fix it. I want you to sleep at night during a rainstorm and not worry about your basement filling up with water. Like our client Kim from Mount Prospect.
We had chronic basement flooding and no one could figure out why. During a huge storm, water was pouring in through the window wells of our finished basement and we had to bail out 6 inches of water. We got a bunch of estimates, but Gus's was the most reasonable, plus he knew exactly what the problem was. He put in a full basement drain tile system and an additional sub pump with a backup battery. Chicagoland Waterproofing gave us peace of mind. I like to say, in Gus we trust.
From simple sump pumps to complex storm drainage and crack foundation solutions, Chicagoland Waterproofing's work comes with a lifetime warranty. Plus, a fully licensed plumber is always on staff. Request your estimate today at ChicagolandWaterproofingPros.com or call 847-296-3500.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
I had my yearly physical and all my tests and everything, and they were wonderful. In fact, my doctor said everything came back and it's fantastic. So, and my blood pressure was down 20 points. So, yeah, it was kind of high, but now it's okay.
So I think that that balance of nature is a big deal for me, and I feel good. You know, I generally feel not up like crazy, but I feel happy. All the nutrition, all the nutrients that I needed or need, I'm getting. I feel good that way.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Check out the newest podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's Megan Crane. A weekly conversation about top political issues around the midterm elections. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It is 8:36. A check on the roads in the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Kennedy inbound traffic is stop and go Irving Park to Randolph. It's 43 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. 33 from Montrose, 34 the Express. Outbound 36 minutes downtown to the airport. Edens is fine inbound. Outbound it's 32 minutes Montrose to Lake Cook. Got Eisenhower delays, St. Charles to the Tri-State, Manheim to Harlem, and Austin to Burn Circle. 56 minutes, 390 to downtown. 40 from Manheim. Outbound 43 minutes to 390. Stevenson an hour and 4 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Outbound 36 minutes. Ryan 34 minutes, 95 to downtown. I-57 26 minutes, I-80 to the Merge, Bishop 435. Southbound Tri-State bottled up. The Adams Tollway to the Bensonville Bridge. Northbound, the 83rd Street toll to 31st, and from the Reagan Tollway to Balmoral. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte from the Alarm Detection Systems Traffic Center on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues after your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Partial sunshine, 41. Snow begins overnight. A little accumulation, low near 30. 34 right now. Next news at 9. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
If you're talking about it, I'll be talking about it. Dennis Prager here. Join me this morning at 11, right here on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy, and coming up we have one of my favorite intellectuals, and what we try and do on this show, in part at least, is profile people whose work has not gotten the profile that it demands. And one of those individuals is Shelby Steele. I've talked about white guilt on this show before. His most recent book is Shame. That's a book you should pick up as well. We've talked to his son Eli as well. He's the documentarian.
Yeah. He was in studio with us. Lovely man.
How Jack Became Black. So it's a prolific family, the Steele family. How Jack Became Black is also a film documentary you should check out. Couldn't be more topical. Shelby Steele wrote one of the most important op-eds during the 2016 election cycle to explain what was happening and how the sides were divided, using sort of Trump and Clinton as their representatives, but sort of the underlying cultural divide in his piece in the Wall Street Journal called "Culture of Deference." Recently, this election cycle, another important piece that has really borne out. This is back in September to the Wall Street Journal. Why the left is consumed with hate. Steele writes, today's left lacks worthy menaces to fight. It's driven to find a replacement for racism, some sweeping historical wrongdoing that morally empowers those who oppose it, climate change perhaps. Failing this, only hatred is left. Hatred is a transformative power. It can make the innocuous into the menacing. So it has become a weapon of choice. The left has used hate to transform President Trump into a symbol of the new racism. Not a flawed president, but a systemic evil. And he must be opposed, as one opposes racism, with scorched earth absolutism. And tell me if that isn't exactly what we're seeing, not only directed at Trump, but anybody who would deign to poke their head up and say, I'm a Trump supporter. Anybody that would run with Trump, candidates for Congress, anybody that would vote with Trump, former members of Congress that have been washed out of places like suburban Chicago. So the question, if that's what the left has to offer, only hate, because they understand its transformative power, and oh, by the way, it's working among important segments of the population, like many suburban communities around the country, then what is it that conservatives should be offering? For the answer to that question and others, we're pleased to be joined again by Shelby Steele. Shelby Steele, thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
And again, the book is A Shame, How America's Past Sins Have Polarized Our Country. That's his latest offering. Mr. Steele, a senior fellow at the Hoover Institution over there at Stanford in Palo Alto. So what about that? If the left is consumed by hate, they understand its transformative power, they're using it effectively, what should be the conservative or non-leftist response?
Well, I think that liberalism has an advantage going back to the 60s when the civil rights victories occurred and it became clear that there had to be in America a moral imperative, and that our politics would not be legitimate, would not be considered legitimate until they took on this moral imperative to make sure everybody was treated equal and so forth. Liberalism jumped on that, defined themselves around this moral focus, and it became a sort of vein of power in American life, morality. It's sort of the first time morality had become a source of power. And they've used it very effectively ever since. Conservatism, on the other hand, tends to be more pragmatic, more down to earth. Let's fix it. Let's get the job done. Let's build the wall. Let's fix the interest rates. Let's so forth and so on. They don't have a morally appealing message. Trump is not an idealist. He is not someone who's going to give you a kind of spiritual focus, a lift, a humane point of view. He's a pragmatist. He's going to try to get the job done. And this hurts him in the suburbs, where there is a longing for a kind of moral focus that people identify with. Really, I think liberalism is not an ideology anymore at all. It's an identity.
And so
an identity of innocence and goodwill and so forth. It's often very blind, but that's what it wants to be.
The signs in people's lawns, hate has no home here. The signs in the lawns of multi-million-dollar mansions in Hinsdale, Black Lives Matter, right? I mean,
they're everywhere in Chicago.
Comedically, but they're posted in these homes of patrician white people unironically.
That's right. That's right. Well, that's you see that out here in California as well. That it's white. I don't think I've ever seen a Black Lives Matter poster in a black neighborhood. I've seen we've got to stop the killing and so forth, but I haven't. Which makes the point that I think Black America is ready for pragmatism at this point.
Well,
we've had idealism. It's done in many ways a great job. America's a morally transformed country, but now we need pragmatism, more down to earth, fix it solutions.
But how do we do that when you have leading up to the midterm elections? You had both Oprah Winfrey and former President Obama out there on the campaign trail, pretty much making it clear that they believe America still oppresses African Americans.
Their candidates lost.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're losing their juice. Their liberalism, the other side of all this is that liberalism is becoming obsolete. Protest in the sort of old-fashioned Martin Luther King way is becoming obsolete. It doesn't begin to get to the real problems that minorities face in American life. And so Oprah can do whatever she wants. She's never going to have the kind of power that was once there. That power, there's not enough racism in American life to justify that kind of power anymore. America has not given itself credit for the moral evolution it underwent since the 60s. We are a transformed society. I know this. I grew up in segregated Chicago in the 40s and 50s. I know it intimately. That's not the reality today. Today, Black Americans are absolutely free.
And
we are no longer systemically oppressed. We can do whatever we want to do. Therefore, Oprah is obsolete. May take a time for her to disappear, but there's no energy out there for her to grab onto. The next big leader will be somebody who's pragmatic. That's why I think why blacks have begun to turn around and even look at Donald Trump. His approval numbers have gone up in Black America dramatically.
Well, and the other thing you've seen just on that score, to your point, and I've never quite thought about it this way, but the numbers among Latinos and blacks that were earned by Ducey in Arizona, but even more particularly DeSantis in Florida, and it's largely connected, the belief is, to school choice programs where you've had constituencies created through Opportunity Scholarships program that are disproportionately provided to minority families. And they're looking and saying, well, look, I want the scholarship for my kid that's got him in a better school. And if that means I have to vote for Ron DeSantis or Doug Ducey over a Democrat, well, then that's what I'm going to do.
Absolutely. That's school choice is an issue that you see sort of at the center of this growing divide. Minorities don't want a liberalism that doesn't want school choice. They love school choice. You open a charter school and the lines are around the block for people to get their kids enrolled. Well, that again makes the point that the needs of this community today are not idealistic anymore. They're pragmatic. We need to be better educated. We need schools that actually work hard at educating us. We don't need the idealism.
So conservatives are doing it all wrong. We're trying to. This is really interesting. We're trying to make the tax cut argument to suburban families who are looking to save the world, and we're trying to make the sort of morally good, we're not racist argument to constituencies in urban centers we don't have, when it should be sort of the converse.
That's exactly right. That's well put.
Great. We're only 180 degrees off. Okay, great.
That's all.
At least we have a plan for 2020 now that you've sort of righted my thinking. But that's and then that message, save the world, climate change. You point up, and obviously we see it play out as well. That's really interesting. So, in point of fact, a pragmatic approach with respect to the immediate economic security interests of minority families could reshape the Republican Party even more than it's being reshaped through sort of blue-collar, middle-income families fleeing the Democrats and coming to the Republican Party in the Trump era.
That's right. That's right. I mean, that's where minorities are at today. We've had 60 years now of feel-good idealism and cultural nationalism and the focus on identity and race and all this sort of thing. And we're worse off today than we were back in 1964 when the Civil Rights Bill passed. So the other thing on conservative side is the utter and complete failure of every single program initiative the left has ever, since the 60s, has ever put forward. That level of failure is just, I'm sure in history, will be seen, to use the cliche word, as awesome. It's just an enormous amount of failure. And blacks have been the beneficiaries, if you use that word, of it. We have suffered and suffered, and we've suffered more from that sort of misguided goodwill than we did from racism. We did better in the 50s when there was open segregation. So it's how long can you sustain a contradiction like that? I think that's partly why Trump is president. I think that's why there's been a kind of transformation in America even since he's been in office.
Really interesting. He is Shelby Steele, 30 years of scholarship. If you haven't exposed yourself to it, do so, from the content of our character to A Dream Deferred to White Guilt to his latest offering, Shame, How America's Past Sins Have Polarized Our Country. Go to Amazon, pick up his books. Shelby Steele, author, senior fellow at the Hoover Institution. Thanks so much for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Well, thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line. Hey, real quick, Dan, the guy who yelled, Heil Hitler, Heil Trump, 58-year-old man, was very drunk, and he hates President Trump. And he said that the play reminded him of Trump. That's why he shouted it out.
Of course.
So not a Trump supporter.
Right.
Okay?
So, the Proud Boys didn't go to see an encore performance in Baltimore, Fiddler on the Roof. What a surprise. Chris Hayes, MSNBC.
The more you listen, the more you'll know. This is Chicago's Morning Answer. Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
We're in the holiday season, and everybody's scrambling around to find the right Christmas gift. I have a magical place for the magical gift for somebody on your list. I want you to give a gift for my friends at Roland's Jewelers. I'm a customer. In fact, recently got a watch from Roland's Jeweler that I absolutely love. You know, jewelry is all about trust. Roland's Jewelers in downtown Libertyville is a place you can trust. Who else would offer AM 560 listeners up to $500 in savings on designer brands like Mickey Moto, John Hardy, Roberto Coin? You'll save on luxury watches you love, like Tag Heuer or Michelle and Shinola. Shinola is the kind of watch that I got. As an AM 560 listener, you're going to save up to $500. Roland's Jewelers, downtown Libertyville. You got to make a stop or go online. RolandsJewelers.com, ROLLANDS, RolandsJewelers.com. This holiday season, trust Roland's to make all your gift-giving magical. Roland's Jewelers, a family-owned jeweler you can trust.
A storm is on the horizon, and you need to keep the lights on no matter what. Your business relies on the power being on 24/7. It's the lifeblood of your data and computer systems. Weather-related outages from the power company are not acceptable. Your need for a source of power that's reliable 24/7, along with round-the-clock service that can dispatch technicians to your site immediately, is mission critical. Your business needs Charles Equipment Energy Systems on speed dial. These are the big boys, not residential or solar, but reliable industrial generators for emergency backup or events. When you need more than a 100-foot extension cord plugged into a small engine generator, call Charles Equipment Energy Systems. They keep the lights on with rental generators for job sites or power outages. Stay warm this winter. Plan ahead. Call now to prepare generators for winter storms and potential power outages. Call 630-834-6000. That's 630-834-6000 or charlesequipment.com. charlesequipment.com.
It's so nice now that the kids are asleep.
Cheers.
We got the kids, our house, a stable income.
Checking off all the boxes.
But there's one box we haven't checked off.
What's that?
Life insurance.
We don't need to think about that now. We're young.
That's why now is the best time. Life insurance gets more expensive the older you get.
But I don't have time to do a blood test. It's such a hassle to meet with someone just to get a quote.
Not with Ethos.
Ethos?
It's a modern kind of life insurance. You just answer 4 quick questions at getethos.com and get a free instant quote. No pushy salespeople. And no medical exams required for policies covering under $1 million. You can apply online in just 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Let's do it.
But then what will we do for the rest of the night?
I'm sure we can think of something.
Get your free instant quote and submit your complete application in minutes. Just go to getethos.com. That's ETHOS. Getethos.com. Getethos.com.
Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies in a capsule.
It helped me with a lot. Like, my energy levels went up. I felt way better. I felt more focused, more concentrated. It made a difference as far as energy levels and brain function.
Balance of Nature, you are all so very nice to deal with. Michelle, you and everybody I've spoken to, Heidi, Quo, everybody I've spoken with, the Balance of Nature is so very, very nice.
I do feel a whole lot better since I've been taking it. I don't get colds like I used to, as often, it seems. They don't last. And the wounds, are healing a lot quicker, that's for sure.
For a limited time, use discount code CHICAGO, and we'll take 35% off your first preferred set of fruits and veggies and have them shipped to you free. Call 800-246-8751 or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Lake County Right to Life is looking for like-minded people to help save lives, to support women, mothers and fathers, unborn babies, families, and the elderly. Can you help? Lake County Right to Life takes an active part in both the educational and lobbying aspects of the Right to Life movement. They recognize the need to become actively involved in electing pro-life, pro-family legislators, and formed the Lake County PAC to elect local Lake County candidates who support life-affirming legislation on your behalf. Legislation that saves thousands of lives and doesn't impose on you, the taxpayer, for the lesser good. There is light at the end of the tunnel, but it takes all of us working together to accomplish a society that celebrates life and protects our most vulnerable. For donations or information about educating the public concerning current life issues and legislations, go to the Lake County Right to Life website, lcrtl.org. That's lcrtl.org. You can also follow Lake County Right to Life on Facebook.
It's Mike Gallagher, always honored when I get to visit with my dear friend Tom Sedeka, who's president and CEO of Precision Payroll of America, a 35-year-old company that still has its first employee and first client. It's pretty remarkable, Tom. You're a great patriot. You're a fantastic entrepreneur, and you got to be thrilled at the continued success of Precision Payroll. And I give all the credit to AM 560, The Answer, and the Mike Gallagher Show.
Thanks, Mike. And so do I. I have to tell you, working with you is an absolute treat and an honor. And the number of clients that we have gained over the years across the country from working with you has been a real blessing. So it is a real joy to work with somebody like Mike Gallagher and be on AM 560.
And it's a real joy for somebody like me to say for all your payroll processing or HR needs, go to precisionpayroll.com, precisionpayroll.com, or call Tom and his team, 630-242-1507, 630-242-1507, Precision Payroll of America.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, stop posting pictures of your dog online and go play with them. A new study by University of Pennsylvania researchers finds limiting social media usage to no more than 30 minutes per day can lead to significant improvement in well-being. 143 undergrad students tested over the course of 2 semesters. The top line finding, using less social media than you normally would leads to significant decreases in both depression and loneliness. These effects are particularly pronounced for folks who were more depressed when they came into the study.
You post a lot. Do you post a lot of Hayek? I mean, when you first introduced us to him, you had a picture of Hayek and Hayek. So clever.
No, but I do spend a lot of time online because I like to wallow in my loneliness and depression.
Because you find comfort in it. You find friends. Thanks so much for making us part of your work week. Thanks so much to Justin Kosick, Quinn McCarthy, and Keith Conrad, our zoo crew back there. We're back here bright and early. Monday morning, 5 a.m. Have a safe, happy